His uncle had indeed introduced him with great fanfare. Yet, how could so much time have passed, and he still recognized him at first glance? Those in hotel management certainly possess a keen sense of perception. Thankfully, he had not revealed his identity in front of his classmates. Had his status been exposed, it would have created an immense pressure in their interactions. Clearing his throat, Lin Hui remarked, "Manager Wang, I'm here today for a meal with my classmates, so please act as if you do not know me." "How could that be?" Wang Defa exclaimed, visibly agitated. "If the chairman were to find out that I neglected you, I would be in serious trouble. Rest assured, being here is akin to being at home. I shall serve you with utmost care, even better than I would my own father." Lin Hui felt exasperated. At his age, who would wish to be treated like a father? He pondered for a moment and suggested, "Let us put it this way. Just tell others that you are my neighbor. And do not let it slip. I prefer to keep a low profile, do you understand?" Wang Defa nodded with a knowing smile. Understood. The more low-key, the better. Lin Hui was uncertain whether he truly comprehended or was merely feigning understanding, but he had no time to dwell on it. "All right, you go about your business. I will head upstairs to eat." Wang Defa grinned as he escorted him to the elevator, then immediately retrieved his intercom, impatiently inquiring, Hello, are the dishes for the Shanhua Hall ready?" The head chef replied, "They are nearly ready. We will start serving shortly." "Change them." "What? Change everything?" "Yes. Replace everything with the best. Whatever is delicious, switch it out. Whatever is exquisite, substitute it." Wang Defa insisted. "The young master is incognito today, and we must perform excellently. Whether I can secure a promotion and salary increase depends on this very moment." The head chef, with eyes gleaming in excitement, assured him, "Rest assured. I will showcase my finest culinary skills, just wait and see." After ending the call, Wang Defa discreetly reveled in his achievements. Having secured Lin Xiao's reputation among his classmates, he was certain Lin would remember him fondly. With hopes of a promotion and a transfer to the headquarters, Wang Defa's eyes sparkled with fervor. Yet, he felt compelled to do more to ensure that Lin Xiao would remember him distinctly. In the private dining room, a group of young men gathered around a card table playing a popular poker game known as Duan Dan, which originated from the East China region, evolving from local games like running fast and 80 points. After a brief session, the cold dishes were served. Fang Chao clapped his hands and declared, "All right, enough playing. Everyone take your seats. It's time to eat." "Oh, it's time to eat." Everyone quickly settled in. Fang Chao arranged for Lin Hui to sit at the main guest position directly across from him, causing Lin to feel somewhat uncomfortable. "Class monitor, is it appropriate for me to take the main seat while you called for the meal?" Fang Chao waved his hand dismissively. "What is inappropriate about it? If the top student doesn't sit here, where would you prefer?" "On my head." The others joined in the playful banter. Yes, you should sit there." Lin Hui, feeling at ease among friends, decided to be straightforward. "Waiter, let the dishes commence." He called out to the outside. Moments later, the door to the private room swung open, and an array of exquisite dishes was brought to the table. Upon seeing the feast laid before them, everyone's eyes widened in astonishment. Crispy roasted suckling pig, king crab, grouper fish, Australian lobster. Goodness, such enormous abalones, one for each person, and bird's nest soup. They all stared at Fang Chao, incredulously asking, "Class monitor, this is rather extravagant." "Isn't it? Even emperors didn't feast like this." Fang Chao gazed at the lavish spread, his mind racing. What on earth was happening? I didn't order all this. He had intended to splurge a little, but certainly not to this extent. Someone must have called for reinforcements. Although Fang Chao had indulged in numerous gourmet meals with his father, he had never encountered such a grand spectacle in his life. This was a veritable treasure trove of delicacies. How much could this possibly cost? Lin Hui was equally taken aback by the sumptuous offerings. "Class monitor, even if you're wealthy. This is excessive. Are you sure your family runs a business and not a bank?" Fang Chao looked utterly aggrieved. I didn't order this." "You didn't order it?" Everyone was left dumbfounded. "If you're treating us, who else could have ordered it?" They all turned their gaze toward Lin Hui, with Wang Yong cautiously inquiring, "Brother Hui, could it be you?" "Nonsense." Lin Hui shot him a glare. "Am I the kind of person who would pull such a stunt? I didn't order it." Fang Chao was certain Lin Hui was innocent. Despite the latter's previous mischief, they had resolved their differences and were on good terms. He wouldn't sabotage himself, especially since he chose the venue. Without the hostess' approval, they wouldn't have been able to serve the dishes. As the waiter approached with a tray of large oysters, Fang Chao nearly choked. "Wait, hold on. You can't serve those yet. Aside from the cold dishes, we didn't order any of the other items. Have you mistakenly delivered to the wrong room?" The waiter glanced back at the entrance. "No mistake here. It's from the Shana Hall. And there are several more dishes to come." Fang Chao clutched his wallet, his heart sinking. This was it. He must have been set up. Who could be so unscrupulous as to order this many dishes? His limited funds wouldn't suffice. If worse came to worst, he'd have to call his father for assistance. The waiter continued, "Sir, Here's the situation. All these dishes were sent by Manager Wang. He and Mr. Lin are old acquaintances, so all of this is complimentary. Upon hearing this, everyone's jaws dropped onto the table. Wang Yong's eyes sparkled with excitement. Wow, Brother Hui is truly impressive, such a grand gesture. The others echoed in agreement. Lin Hui, you're remarkable. Without you, we'd never have the chance to taste such lavish meals in our lifetime. Just wait, allow me to perform a pig feast for you. Lin Hui's head was filled with dark lines. How on earth did Wang Defa manage this? Despite having clearly instructed him to keep a low profile, he still orchestrated such a spectacle. Was he deliberately trying to distance me from the common people? Beside him, Fong Chao's mouth twitched incessantly. It was absurd how everyone praised Lin Hui, even though it was he who had treated them to a meal. However, they were all friends. And it didn't matter who hosted, so he thought little of it. Soon, everyone raised their glasses and joyfully began to eat and drink. The two gluttons devoured their food voraciously, transforming delicacies like bird's nest and abalone into something resembling porridge and steamed buns, which elicited hearty laughter from the crowd. At the table, Fong Chao toasted Lin Hui and curiously inquired, Lin Hui, I've always wanted to ask, how did you achieve such remarkable results in such a short time to rank first in our class? It's truly impressive. Before Lin Hui could respond, Wang Yong wiped his mouth and interjected, Class monitor, our brother Hui doesn't even need to study. He is a natural genius. Chun Eru, munching on crab, chimed in. Brother Hui used to raise pigs and chickens in the military and inadvertently became a model for logistics production, nearly making it to the military newspaper. Later, when he joined the combat unit, he instantly became a top soldier. Now that he is here, it's only natural for him to excel. You can ask Suda. Suda nodded, adding, in our regiment, he is one of a kind. He can easily touch the commander's shoulder, simply because of his exceptional abilities. Everyone's jaws dropped in astonishment, gazing at Lin Hui as if he were a mythical creature. What kind of mind must he possess? His adaptability and learning was astonishing. Truly a prodigy. Fong Chao stood with his glass raised, declaring, Lin Hui, I have never bowed to anyone in my life, but I bow to you. From this day forth, you are my elder brother, my true brother by fate. If there is anything I don't understand, I must seek your guidance. Lin Hui laughed heartily. What elder brother? In the military, we only have comrades, no elder brothers. Just call me boss. Boss. Everyone stood up, following Fong Chao to shout in genuine admiration. In military academies, as in the armed forces, respect is reserved for the strong. Lin Hui ranked first in examinations, and his military prowess left them far behind. Such a person was impossible not to respect. Lin Hui stood up cheerfully. Come on, let us all drink together. Cheers. Everyone drank heartily. After feasting, someone suggested, why don't we find a place to sing? Lin Hui nodded, sure, where to? Fong Chao replied, there is a nightclub called Zuanhuang Entertainment in the city center that seems quite nice. How about we go there? The two gluttons' eyes sparkled with excitement. Wang Yong exclaimed. Just hearing the name makes it sound like a high-end venue. Chun Eru wiped the grease from his mouth and chuckled. I wonder if there will be any ladies showing off their legs. Hee hee hee. Imagining this scene, smiles of eager anticipation spread across everyone's faces. Most had only heard of nightclubs and had never visited one. They had heard tales of it being like a celestial paradise, filled with fairies. Who knew if it was true? Full and content, they set off, rushing down the stairs. Upon exiting the hotel, a magnificent Rolls-Royce caught my eye. Its hood ornament resembling a soaring golden figure, strikingly prominent. The onlookers could not help but reveal their envy through their gazes. A Rolls-Royce, indeed a pinnacle of luxury. I had previously glimpsed one at school, yet here was another. What immense wealth must one possess to afford such a vehicle? Just then, Wang Defa approached from behind. Greeting Lin Hui, are you heading out? Lin Hui nodded. What is the matter? Wang Defa beamed with delight, hastily opening the car door. What a coincidence. I knew you didn't have a car, so I arranged one for you. Where shall I take you? The others widened their eyes in astonishment. Goodness. The Rolls-Royce at the entrance was indeed meant for Lin Hui. Lin Hui was infuriated. What the hell? I asked you to keep a low profile. And this is your idea of low-key? You even brought a Rolls-Royce for me. I truly appreciate it. He attempted to appear calm. Manager Wang, I have my own car. I came with my classmates in the vehicle parked out front. Wang Defa glanced back at the nearby Mercedes, shaking his head. What level are you at to be riding in such a car? Is that even a vehicle for a person to sit in? Come, get in. I'll personally drive you wherever you need to go. Fong Chao nearly choked, his mind overwhelmed by disbelief. In this day and age, even a Mercedes was deemed unworthy? Shall we get in? Wang Defa grinned, rubbing his hands together, exuding an air of obsequiousness. He had heard that Lin Hui was a wealthy playboy. By elevating Lin's status in front of their peers, he was surely securing his own promotion and raise. Lin Hui was on the verge of exploding with rage, questioning how this fool had ever ascended to a managerial position. However, he found himself in a predicament, feeling pressured to comply. If he declined, others would surely question his status. Once his identity was revealed, how could they continue to enjoy their camaraderie and training? He forced a polite yet awkward smile at everyone. My neighbor is overly enthusiastic. I merely offered him a little assistance and some refreshments. And look at this. A small favor has resulted in such grand reciprocation. I feel rather embarrassed to refuse. Why don't you all go ahead? I'll ride with him. Fong Chao glanced at the Rolls-Royce, awkwardly nodding. All right. We'll head off first. You can find us later. No problem, Lin Hui replied. Everyone followed Fong Chao into the car as they departed the hotel. Inside the vehicle, Lu Gao could not resist turning back, his eyes filled with envy. Class monitor, where does Lin Hui live? He seems to have such a wonderful neighbor. I almost want to move in. Fong Chao chuckled ruefully. Don't think it's just you. I want to move in too. One vehicle of his is worth my entire collection. As the convoy drove away, Lin Hui glared at Wang Defa. What's the matter with you? Didn't I say I wanted to maintain a low profile? Why are you sending over food, drinks, and even a Rolls-Royce? Young Master Lin, I'm only considering your best interests. Wang Defa hastily pledged his loyalty, thinking to himself, you are, after all, the heir apparent of the group, even in modesty. This display is quite sufficient. Fearing misunderstandings, he refrained from disturbing him, noting that this Rolls-Royce was still from the allocation by headquarters several years ago. There were several sports cars in the garage, but he dared not take them out, worried it would be too ostentatious. Lin Hui was bewildered, exclaiming, is this truly your interpretation of modesty? You must be quite daft. Not wishing to engage in further banter, he sighed. All right, just take me to the Emperor. Yes, young master. Wang Defa eagerly ushered him into the car, scampering to the driver's seat and starting the engine. In less than half an hour, they arrived near their destination. Lin Hui specifically instructed him to park a little farther away. In this day and age, driving a Hummer was already a sign of great wealth. A Rolls-Royce, however, was an extraordinarily rare sight domestically, especially parked in front of a venue, where it would undoubtedly attract attention. Lin Hui had no desire to be conspicuous, lest his identity be revealed. He thought to himself, I must disguise myself when I exit to avoid being recognized by acquaintances. He opened the door and said, all right, you can head back now. Wang Defa leaned out of the car window, beaming with a grin. Young Master Lin, did I provide satisfactory service today? Lin Hui replied with a cold chuckle. It was acceptable. Wang Defa, elated, asked, then, when you see General Manager Jiang, could you possibly say a few kind words on my behalf? Lin Hui finally grasped his ulterior motive. Patting him on the shoulder with a look of appreciation, he said, Manager Wang, I've heard that our group is about to expand its hotel business in Africa. With your capabilities, remaining here would indeed be a waste of talent. I'll put in a good word for you to be appointed as general manager, with your salary and bonuses doubled. With that, he turned and walked away. Wang Defa was overjoyed, tears of excitement streaming down his face. Young Master Lin was truly exceptional, treating me so well. All those years of reading people had not been in vain. This was the reward. He pulled out his phone, excitedly dialing. Hello, dear, I've struck it rich. Yes, I've been promoted. From now on, you won't have to drive that old Mazda to work anymore. Come, let me take you to buy a grand Mercedes. Lin Hui crossed the crosswalk and reached the opposite street. The Emperor International was situated at the corner of an intersection, its golden sign especially eye-catching. The imposing stone lions at the entrance added to its grandeur. He did not even need to step inside. Based on experience, he already knew the level of luxury within. Although it was still afternoon, several luxury cars were parked outside, most of which were Cadillacs. A slight smile crept onto Lin Hui's lips as a familiar feeling surged within him. He hadn't anticipated that Fong Chao would choose such an opulent venue. The expenses here must be substantial. Just as he prepared to enter, a strikingly attractive woman, dressed provocatively, stumbled out in a flurry, colliding into Lin Hui. She fell to the ground. Oh, I'm so sorry. Lin Hui instinctively reached out to assist her. Upon seeing her face, he was suddenly taken aback. Han Yan? The woman turned around in a panic, startled to hear someone calling her name. She froze, her gaze locking onto Lin Hui, her eyes widening in astonishment as a wave of familiar memories surged forth. Lin Hui. They were classmates throughout middle and high school, often commuting together. They spent considerable time in each other's company until Lin Hui enlisted in the military, and they had not crossed paths since. Who would have thought they would reunite in such an unexpected manner? Lin Hui grinned as he helped her to her feet. What are you doing here? Han Yun's eyes sparkled with joy, but before she could respond, a group of 7 or 8 burly men suddenly emerged, encircling them. Run, let's get out of here. The ringleader, a man with bleached hair and a cigarette dangling from his lips, shouted angrily. Damn it, my brother took a liking to you and invited you to drink. You foul wench, not only did you fail to appreciate this, but you also dared to strike him with a bottle? Where do you think you can flee to now? Nervously, Han Yun edged closer to Lin Hui, instinctively seeking his protection as she had done in the past. Lin Hui, reminiscent of his youthful bravado when he often courted trouble, reflexively pulled her behind him, shielding her from harm. He surveyed the ruffians and turned back to inquire. What is going on here? Han Yun's voice grew softer as she recounted. Xiao Nian and Chen Jian called me over. I had just entered and hadn't located anyone when I encountered them in the corridor. They blocked my way and insisted on dragging me into a private room for drinks. In my panic, I grabbed the bottle. Lin Hui's brow furrowed in surprise. Xiao Nian and Chen Jian are here? What about that rascal Tian Kong? He wouldn't be around, would he? Han Yun nodded affirmatively. Yes, they are all here. Tian Kong opened a company here and is celebrating its grand opening tomorrow, which is why they invited us. Lin Hui chuckled heartily. That scoundrel, always getting into mischief, has finally decided to start a business. Impressive. Hey, you lot are having a lovely chat while we're here. The blonde man interjected angrily, his frustration palpable. Lin Hui turned to assess the motley crew, noting their dyed hair, some yellow, some green, and one red, clad in tight pants and slip-on shoes. Their tattoos and garish appearances screamed of thuggery. In a cold tone, Lin Hui rebuked. What kind of men are you, bullying a young woman? Do you even have a shred of decency left? Ah, so you're her accomplice, huh? The blonde man laughed mockingly. Listen, I advise you to mind your own business. This woman has stirred trouble with the wrong people. He pointed at Han Yun, commanding, you, come with me and apologize to my brother. Follow his orders, or you both will pay the price. Lin Hui chuckled. Actually, I'm feeling a bit restless myself and wouldn't mind a good thrashing. Care to assist with that? The gang erupted in fury. We've seen people looking for trouble, but you take the cake. The blonde man exclaimed. This fool needs a lesson. With a fierce flick, he stubbed out his cigarette and shouted, go. Take the woman away and give that idiot a good beating. As the group surged forward, Han Yun was terrified. Grasping Lin Hui's arm, Lin Hui, let us run. Yet Lin Hui stood his ground, unwavering as a mountain, impervious to her frantic pulling. He flashed her a reassuring smile. Don't be afraid. I'm here. As his words fell, he dashed out with swift strides. With a fierce determination, he struck the faces of the two thugs with two powerful punches. Bang, bang. The two ruffians fell to the ground, blood gushing from their noses, instantly rendered unconscious. The shocked Huang Mao gaped in disbelief. Damn, he's quite the fighter. No wonder he's so arrogant. Grab your weapons and take him down. The remaining few brandished steel pipes from behind, while others wielded cleavers, charging forward with wild cries. Lin Hui, with a cold smile, moved like lightning, his fist striking with the precision of a venomous serpent. In mere moments, he disarmed them and brought them all down. Against such inexperienced street thugs, who relied solely on intimidation, Lin Hui dispatched them effortlessly. Having resolved the situation, Lin Hui dusted off his hands and approached Han Yun. She stood there in disbelief, covering her mouth with her small hand, her gem-like eyes wide with astonishment. Was this truly the Lin Hui she knew? After just a few years apart, how had he become so formidable? Back in their school days, Lin Hui often found himself in fights to defend his classmates, and though he was quite capable, he could only manage to take on 2 or 3 opponents at a time. Now, he was taking down 7 or 8 with ease, clad in red shorts. He resembled a superhero. All is well now, Lin Hui said with a smile, giving her a reassuring pat. Han Yun responded with a soft her eyes sparkling with admiration. So handsome, just as you always were. At that moment, a sudden rush of wind announced the arrival of trouble behind Lin Hui. He swiftly turned, catching a flying stick in his hand, gripping it tightly. At the nightclub entrance, 3 men shouted angrily, "Let that girl go." Or else, before they could finish, they froze, their eyes widening in shock. No way, it's Brother Hui. Recognizing the familiar faces, a smile crept onto Lin Hui's lips. Chapter 240, My youth has finally returned. Come on, pour a drink for Brother Hui. Open those 2 bottles of Royal Salute. They called enthusiastically. Pick a song. Let us hear the theme from Slam Dunk, his favorite. Inside the private room, a group of friends warmly welcomed him, continuously offering cigarettes and drinks. Lin Hui accepted everything graciously, though he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Looking at these steadfast brothers with whom he had once skipped classes, fought, and chased after girls, he felt an odd mix of familiarity and strangeness. Chen Jian exclaimed with palpable excitement. Brother Hui, we finally found you. You have no idea how hard we've searched for you these past 2 years. Xiaoyan nodded vigorously. Yes, we knew you enlisted, but no one could tell us which unit you joined. We inquired everywhere, but couldn't locate you. Lin Hui smiled, warmth swelling in his heart. He had not anticipated that his friends had continued to think of him after he joined the military. Unlike his comrades in the army, these close friends were different. Though they had often hung out together, indulging in food and fun, he knew that when it came to serious matters, they would stand by him without hesitation. They were true friends, the kind who would genuinely support him in times of need. Tian Kong joyfully added, Brother Hui, we all heard about how your family sent you off to the military. 2 years have passed, and now that you have returned from service, why haven't you sought us out? Lin Hui chuckled and shook his head, stating, I have not yet completed my service. I am still in the army. The three of them were taken aback, and Han Yun's eyes widened in disbelief. Your father is being quite unreasonable. He promised you would be discharged after 2 years. How can he go back on his word? Lin Hui merely smiled, unable to offer an explanation. Even if he tried, it would be difficult for them to comprehend. Some experiences can only be fully understood by those who have lived through them in the military. They quickly gathered around him, eager to help. Brother Hui, one of them said, I heard that as long as you complete 2 years of service, you can file for discharge. It would be perfectly reasonable for you to leave now. No one could stop you. Absolutely. Another chimed in. Is there an issue with the paperwork? Do you want us to pull some strings for you? Han Yun's eyes sparkled with an idea. I have a plan. I can claim I'm pregnant, forcing you to leave and take responsibility. Lin Hui choked on his drink, exclaiming, What on earth are you thinking? It's all to save you. Han Yun replied, her cheeks flushing slightly. I could even cause a scene at your unit, accusing you of being a scoundrel who abandons women. They would surely expel you. The others were in fits of laughter, slapping their thighs in approval. I think that's a feasible plan. Brother Hui, what do you think? Lin Hui nearly sputtered in disbelief. What a ludicrous idea, especially from Han Yun, who had once been as innocent as a lamb but now seemed to possess a wealth of cunning. He cleared his throat and addressed them. Your suggestions are utterly dreadful, lacking any redeeming quality. However, I must clarify that I am here of my own accord. No one has coerced me. A hush fell over the group as they exchanged glances. Suddenly, Tian Kong lunged forward, grasping Lin Hui's face and rubbing it vigorously. Are you pretending? Are you truly Brother Hui? Lin Hui's face reddened from the rough treatment as he swatted Tian Kong away. What are you doing? Are you out of your mind? Brother Hui, Tian Kong protested. You used to detest the military, so why would you choose to stay, now that you like it? What's wrong with that? Lin Hui replied. I simply cannot fathom the allure of military life. It would be far more enjoyable to be out here, playing with the brothers. Tian Kong nodded, looking dejected. You have no idea how we've managed without you these past 2 years. I lacked even a pillar of support. He gestured to his disheveled state. Look at me now. I've resorted to starting a company. It's utterly unproductive. The others chimed in with desperate pleas. Please come back. We've lost our sense of purpose. If you return, we can follow you again. Han Yun gazed at him with longing. I have been waiting for you for so long. Please come back. Lin Hui looked at her rosy cheeks and sighed inwardly. Since high school, he had been aware of Han Yun's affections for him. However, back then, he was solely focused on having fun and had no interest in romance. Now, immersed in military life, he found himself drawn only to the notion of serving his country, with little interest in anything else. Despite Han Yun's beauty, her delicate features, and long legs, his heart remained indifferent. Yet Lin Hui understood that their relationship was confined to friendship, with no possibility of advancing further. What was impossible before had become even more so now. With a sigh, Lin Hui remarked, Please, no more discussions. The person I once was has vanished. I now wish to pursue my own aspirations. Han Lu's lips trembled as if she wished to speak, but Lin Hui interrupted her directly. Do not attempt to persuade me any further. If you consider me a brother, then understand my choice. At this moment, I desire to remain in the military and fulfill my duty as a soldier. That is my dream. Silence enveloped the group. It dawned on them that Lin Hui had undergone a profound transformation since the past. The carefree and jovial young man they once knew had faded away. Now, even as he sat on the sofa, his posture was impeccably straight. His gaze, once lost and distant, now emanated a sharp intensity. They were not oblivious. It was clear that Lin Hui had faced numerous challenges over the past 2 years, which had molded him into this new version of himself. Yet, they could not help but feel a sense of loss for the cheerful brother who had once led them on countless adventures. You've gone off to the military, leaving us behind. What is the point? Tian Kong exclaimed angrily. I'll shut down the company and join you in the army. Others rose in agreement. Yes. We'll enlist too. Being a soldier is so cool. Lin Hui spread his calloused hands with a faint smile. The military life is arduous. Can you endure it? Upon seeing the thick calluses on his hands, everyone gasped, suddenly reconsidering. Having lived a life of comfort and luxury, the thought of enduring military hardships was daunting. Moreover, given their ages, rejoining the army was no simple feat. Lin Hui raised his glass and casually declared, Enough of this talk. We are brothers today and forever. No matter where we are, our hearts will always be united. The group's expressions dimmed. Sadness weighed heavily as they lowered their heads in silence. In a short while, their eyes brimmed with tears. They understood that Lin Hui's words were a farewell. Once they stepped out of that door, seeing him again would be a rare occurrence. Han Yun's expression was complex as she gazed intently at Lin Hui. Though they were seated so close, it felt as if their hearts were drifting further apart, like two parallel lines that would never intersect. Just as she was about to speak, The door to the private room was suddenly kicked open with a loud bang. Everyone looked up to see a hefty man with a bandaged head storming in, flanked by a group of thuggish followers. What do you want? The group stood up, and Lin Hui furrowed his brow in inquiry. Suddenly, a bruised young man with yellow hair squeezed through the doorway, pointing at Lin Hui. That's him. He's the one who beat us up. The leader, the hefty man, scrutinized Lin Hui before coldly asking, Brother, which side are you on? Lin Hui replied nonchalantly. The Sunny Avenue. Damn it, big brother, he's playing you. The blond man's frustration was palpable, and the overweight fellow was seething with rage. His facial flesh quivering. How dare you lay a hand on someone from the Mountain Tiger Gang? Do you not realize this territory is under my protection? Before he could finish his tirade, a bottle hurtled through the air, shattering upon impact with his head. The rotund man's mind went blank, his eyes sparkling with stars. Moments later, a warm trickle of blood cascaded down, obscuring his vision. His underlings erupted into chaos. You're bleeding. Boss, are you alright? The overweight man wiped the blood from his eyes, finally discerning that Lin Hui was retracting his hand. The bottle had been hurled by him. Lin Hui wore a mocking expression. What era is this? Wearing a gaudy gold chain and tattooing a couple of crustaceans, you dare to act like a kingpin? Do you not know how easily the streets will retaliate? The fat man, nearly exploding with anger, bellowed with all his might. To hell with you. Take him down. Thus, the underlings charged towards Lin Hui with fury. Lin Hui instinctively pulled Han Yun behind him. Clenching his fists, his blood surged with adrenaline as he charged forward, exclaiming, My youth has returned at last. In the next moment, Tian Kong and his companions seized bottles, shouting, Dare to strike Brother Hui? We will annihilate you. Brother Hui. We are coming. Chapter 241. Farewell, soldier brother. In an instant, several figures were sent flying, crashing to the ground in disarray. Lin Hui had once claimed the championship at the border defense. How could these petty thugs possibly stand against him? Before they even reached him, they were all sent sprawling. Meanwhile, the other three were locked in a fierce brawl on the ground. I won't let you harm my brother. I won't let you bully my friends. I won't let you stand tall and strike me. Lin Hui laughed heartily, as if transported back in time. Those days of drinking, chasing girls, and fighting together were revived. Suddenly, Lin Hui turned and roared, causing the thugs attempting to advance to freeze in their tracks, paralyzed with fear. He charged forward, effortlessly toppling them all. 2 minutes later, the private room lay in utter disarray. The coffee table was shattered, and over 20 small-time thugs lay unconscious on the floor, sent to slumber by Lin Hui's prowess. Tian Kong and his companions, sporting injuries, sat on the couch, panting, yet gave Lin Hui a thumbs up. You could fight before, but now you're even more formidable. Truly, our big brother. Han Yun covered her mouth, gazing at Lin Hui with infatuation. She yearned to rush over and embrace him in victory as she had before, but ultimately suppressed the urge. She understood that an invisible barrier had formed between them. The Lin Hui of now was no longer the debauched young master of yore. The memories of the past could only remain as such. We should leave quickly. Things have escalated, and the police will be here soon. Lin Hui grabbed his clothes and turned to step away, only to halt abruptly. He turned back to see the four men standing frozen in place. He waved his hand, urging them with impatience. Come on, what are you standing around for? For individuals erupted into laughter. Hui go. Have you forgotten? In the past, after a brawl, we would never dash away immediately. We are still the same as we were back then. Lin Hui's memories seemed to shatter, and scenes from many years ago flooded his mind, when they had fought against delinquents from outside the school to reclaim a classmate's pocket money. Back then, they had emerged victorious, sitting atop their opponents and laughing heartily at the sky. As nostalgia washed over him, Lin Hui felt a slight sting in his nose. They remained unchanged. Still the same brothers who had once shared drinks, fought, skipped classes, and chased girls alongside him. It was he who had transformed, becoming someone who no longer fit in with them. Come on, Hui go, you should leave quickly. We can handle this. It'll just take a moment, Xiao Bing urged loudly. Tian Kong retorted, nonsense. This is self-defense. At most, we'll get detained for a day, and we can walk out after posting bail. But you're different. You're in the military. If they catch you, you might really be discharged. Han Yun nodded in agreement, adding, Lin Hui, you should go. This trouble started because of me. It should be resolved by us. You have no stake in this. Lin Hui felt a surge of emotion, his nose growing warm. He understood that his friends were trying to shoulder the burden, not wanting to involve him. After years of camaraderie, they knew each other's characters well, regardless of the situation. They always considered his well-being. Lin Hui discerned the gravity of the matter. If the military apprehended him, the consequences could be dire. He refrained from being sentimental. Next time, I'll definitely treat you all to a proper drink. Tian Kong chuckled. It's a promise. Han Yun also smiled. We'll be waiting for you. If you dare to stand us up, I'll really show up at the military base with a big belly. Lin Hui chuckled in response, nodding at his friends before turning to leave. Once he departed, the smiles faded from the faces of the four, replaced by deep reminiscence and reluctance. They gazed at the now empty entrance and murmured, "Goodbye, soldier brother." Meanwhile, as Lin Hui rushed outside, he encountered Fong Chao and a group of people surrounding him. "Lin Hui, where have you been? We couldn't find you anywhere." Lin Hui laughed casually. "I ran into an acquaintance and chatted for a bit." Fong Chao responded with a note of surprise. "Oh, so you meet familiar faces everywhere. By the way, what happened over there?" "Nothing much," Lin Hui replied nonchalantly. "Nothing? I heard what sounded like a fight. There were clashing noises. Is someone causing trouble?" Lin Hui glanced back, chuckling. "Just a bunch of people who drank too much and fell over." The crowd exchanged bewildered looks. "Can drinking cause such a ruckus?" "We heard it from a distance. It sounded like a demolition. We need to check it out." Lin Hui swiftly intercepted them. "Enough, it's getting late. Don't be a part of the chaos. Let us leave quickly. If the patrol finds out we're in a place like this, we'll be in serious trouble." Right, let us hurry." The group, feeling guilty, nodded and scampered away. As they reached the corridor, Lin Hui turned back for a moment, murmuring bittersweetly, "Goodbye, my youth." With that, he dashed outside. In the blink of an eye, several months had passed. During this period, Lin Hui dedicated himself to his studies, never allowing a moment of relaxation. Each monthly examination saw him consistently secure the top position in his grade, never once surpassed by his peers. While others took 3 years to complete their coursework, he accomplished it in mere months. Furthermore, he proactively engaged with the remaining year's curriculum ahead of schedule. The academic performance of Suda and his companions gradually improved under Lin Hui's influence, inching forward from the previously established passing marks. In the annual comprehensive assessment, Lin Hui surprisingly claimed the top spot in his grade, outscoring the second-place student by over 50 points. Even Wang Yong and Chun Eru achieved commendable ranks, placing 56th and 57th respectively. In the classroom, Chun Eru held up his report card, laughing with pride. "I never expected to become a top student one day. If my parents knew, they would surely be overjoyed." Wang Yong scoffed. "Come on, you a top student? If you're a top student, then I must be a genius." Chun Eru glared at him. "I am indeed a top student. I've made significant progress." Wang Yong, with a teasing grin, replied, "Well, I've made even greater strides. Being ahead of you while you trail behind, even if it's just by 1 rank, that is still something." Fong Chao observed the banter between the two and shook his head with a smile. Both had shown remarkable improvement. It is worth noting that there were several classes in their grade, each comprising 50 to 60 students. Achieving a top 60 ranking was no small feat. Fong Chao and his group left their seats and approached Lin Hui with cheerful expressions. "Boss, you are incredible. You've surpassed the second place by over 50 points. No matter how hard I try, I doubt I could ever catch up to you. I wish I could take a peek inside your head to understand how you do it." Lin Hui replied with pride. "That's called talent, something that cannot be learned." Just then, the homeroom teacher, holding some books and wearing a serious expression, entered the room. The group quickly dispersed, returning to their respective seats. Sun Yuanshao glanced around and asked lightly, "What are you all huddled together for during the day, seeking warmth?" The others chuckled. "Teacher, we were discussing study tips with Lin Hui." Sun Yuanshao laughed. "Having studied for so long, have you managed to catch up to them? If I were you, I do want to find a hole to hide in." The group collectively rolled their eyes. "You still have the nerve to say that?" Lin Hui's abilities have likely surpassed yours by now. Several times during class, he posed questions that you couldn't answer. "Enough. It's recess time. Go do what you need to do." Sun Yuanshao beckoned Lin Hui over. "Lin Hui, come here for a moment." Lin Hui paused briefly before following him outside. Once they reached a corner, Sun Yuanshao said seriously, "Lin Hui, how did you do on this exam?" Lin Hui smiled brightly. "It's all thanks to your excellent teaching." Sun Yuanshao shot him a glare. "Stop flattering me." "Yes, sir." Sun Yuanshao cleared his throat and looked at him. "I am officially notifying you to pack your belongings and return to your old class." "What?" Lin Hui was utterly bewildered. He hadn't done anything wrong, so why was he being expelled? Chapter 242. Lin Hui pleaded with a pained expression. "Teacher, what have I done wrong? Speak plainly. If I've erred, I shall amend it, but please do not expel me." Sun Yuanshao waved his hand dismissively. "You are not at fault." Before he could finish, Lin Hui interjected, "If I am not mistaken, then I cannot be sent away. I am thriving here, filled with ambition, preparing to return and make significant contributions to the army. To send me back now would be irresponsible to the troops and to the countless soldiers." Sun Yuanshao, overwhelmed by his fervent speech, nearly lost his composure. "What nonsense. When I say depart, I mean return to lead your troops. Lin Hui, you have passed, you have graduated. Do you understand? This humble establishment cannot accommodate a figure as monumental as yourself." With a swift motion, Sun Yuanshao placed 2 red certificates in Lin Hui's hands, one being a completion certificate and the other a degree certificate. Lin Hui stood in stunned disbelief, gazing at him incredulously. Teacher, have you made a mistake? Was it not agreed upon that the duration was 2 years? I have yet to complete one. How can I graduate now? I am aware of my commendable character and exceptional capabilities, but to graduate prematurely, what will my classmates think? They might suspect I leveraged connections to secure my degree. Sun Yuanchao's lips twitched in exasperation. Have you no shame? Do you not value your dignity? You have consistently ranked first in every examination. Your annual assessment scores surpassed the second place by over 50 points. Since the establishment of the academy, no one has achieved such remarkable results. If you were to remain, each of us instructors would be compelled to take you as our student. Just a month prior, Lin Hui had completed all 4 years' coursework in computer science. His current research topics were far beyond the syllabus, to the point that even Sun Yuanchao struggled to comprehend them. In a network security class, Lin Hui nearly compromised the entire school network before the eyes of the instructor. The security level of the academy's internal network was military-grade, containing numerous sensitive military documents. Lin Hui audaciously attempted to breach it, nearly alarming the national security authorities. As for military theory, his papers showcased innovative and imaginative approaches, all while adhering to established guidelines. He flawlessly integrated traditional strategies with modern warfare concepts, crafting an entirely new paradigm. Even the principal was left in awe. With such prowess, who would dare claim that Lin Hui graduated through favoritism? Sun Yuanchao would be the first to defend him fiercely. Enough of this chatter. Sun Yuanchao gestured impatiently. Graduating early is a mark of honor, a recognition from the academy. Do not be modest, but also refrain from arrogance. Now, pack your belongings at once and prepare to depart. Seeing the earnestness in his expression, Lin Hui's heart soared with joy. His dedicated studies had always aimed at returning to his old units sooner than expected, and now the opportunity had presented itself. Thank you, teacher. Lin Hui saluted, turning eagerly to leave. After taking just a couple of steps, he suddenly turned back to ask, Teacher, what about my brothers? Sun Yuanchao glared at him. Tend to your own affairs. What concern do others hold for you? Furthermore, in the army, there are no brothers, only classmates and comrades. That simply won't do. Lin Hui returned with a serious expression. We came together, and we must leave together. Not a single person should be missing upon departure. They have yet to graduate, and I must remain here to accompany them in completing their studies. Sun Yuanchao felt an overwhelming frustration, almost to the point of exasperation. Those few individuals exhibited inconsistent academic performance, fluctuating between highs and lows. Although 2 of them had performed decently in the annual assessments, they displayed a significant imbalance in their academic strengths. Their military scores were exceptionally high, yet their cultural subjects remained a weak point, often falling below the average line. While they were no longer at the bottom, their grades were far from sufficient for early graduation. Even when the time for graduation arrived, it was uncertain whether they could graduate smoothly. But if Lin Hui stayed, what would happen to Sun Yuanchao and the other subject teachers? In the future, would Lin Hui teach this class, or would they? Recently, Lin Hui had been unable to restrain himself during lessons, frequently correcting errors on behalf of the teachers and posing profoundly challenging questions that left many instructors feeling embarrassed. Several teachers had already approached the vice principal to request that they no longer teach as long as Lin Hui was present. It was simply too damaging to their pride. If this situation were to become public knowledge, people might think that the teachers at their school were incompetent and lacked pedagogical quality. With a stern expression, Sun Yuanchao asserted firmly, graduation is graduation. Why must you complicate matters? The school will not retain you, so you should leave immediately and not linger. Lin Hui responded with unwavering determination, absolutely not. Even if you were to bind me and throw me out, I would crawl back. My comrades are here, and I cannot abandon them simply because I am eligible for early graduation. Our principle is to neither abandon nor give up on anyone. He looked directly at Sun Yuanchao and stated earnestly, Teacher, you may not have served in our grassroots units. If you do not mind, I would like to share something with you. Not abandoning any comrade is our primary principle. Even on the battlefield, should one sacrifice, I would carry their body back. Moreover, if I leave, who will supervise their studies? If no one oversees them, what will happen if they cannot graduate? Hence, I must stay until the end. Sun Yuanchao was taken aback, realizing that a student was imparting such wisdom to him at his age. He erupted in anger. Lin Hui, do you realize you are defying orders? Lin Hui retorted loudly, Report. I am here to learn. My learning period is 2 years, and at present, I am merely executing the orders given by my superior. You are not my superior. You are merely my teacher, and I need only to show you respect, which does not constitute defiance. Sun Yuanchao nearly collapsed in frustration, finding himself at a loss for words to counter this argument. Those who had risen through the ranks in the grassroots units were under the command of their respective forces. Their presence here was merely to fulfill a directive for learning. In stark contrast to those students admitted from civilian backgrounds, the school merely needed to provide them with instruction, assessment, and ultimately issue diplomas. To put it plainly, Lin Hui and his peers belonged to the military and were not under the jurisdiction of the academy, thus not truly defying orders. Sun Yuanchao paced furiously, and after a considerable moment, he finally halted, gritting his teeth. You wait here. I shall go apply right now. Lin Hui saluted with a grin. Yes. I knew you couldn't bear to see me go. Sun Yuanchao felt as though his lungs were about to burst. Who would be reluctant? I would gladly kick you out. With that, he turned and stormed away, determined that this rascal could not be allowed to remain. If he stayed in the class, what authority would the homeroom teacher have? When students sought him out for lessons, who would come to me? In the principal's office. A loud clap echoed as the principal slammed his hand on the desk. This is outrageous. He insists on staying? I've never encountered someone so shameless. Sun Yuanchao chuckled wryly. Principal, aren't you witnessing it firsthand? This kid, Lin Hui, is impervious to reason. He is as unyielding as a fortress. If he wants to stay, he will undoubtedly stay. Vice Principal Chen Qing nodded. Indeed, Lin Hui does have a point. He is affiliated with the military and only takes orders from his old unit. If he is determined to remain, no one can stop him. Sun Yuanchao suggested. Should we contact his former unit and have them order him to leave? Chen Qing shook his head. That won't work. They arrived as a group of 5, and they surely wish to graduate together. Sending just one back would be meaningless. They are not fools. The principal's face flushed with anger. Then is there no solution? After a moment of contemplation, Sun Yuanchao proposed. How about we let those others leave with him? The principal and vice principal erupted in protest. Absolutely not. Are you joking? We've seen their academic performance. They are severely lacking in certain subjects, and their results fluctuate dramatically. Not only is early graduation out of the question, but there is also a question mark over their ability to graduate at all. We cannot compromise on academic integrity, nor can we set such a precedent. Luda maintains strict discipline and a commendable ethos. The students will ultimately be dispatched to various military units to assume command roles. They are to become the backbone of the armed forces, and there must be no tolerance for deception. Lin Hui's early graduation is warranted solely due to his exceptional academic prowess, akin to a prodigious student being admitted to Tsinghua or Peking University before even completing high school. Exempt from the college entrance examination, the other 4 do not even come close to being exceptional, let alone graduation-worthy. Sun Yuanchao stated earnestly, Leaders, I have been closely observing them during this period. Without Lin Hui, the other 4 would not have made such significant progress in such a short time. They have advanced under Lin Hui's supervision. To them, Lin Hui is like a catalyst, a strict elder brother motivating them. If Lin Hui leaves, their performance will undoubtedly suffer. They exchanged glances, considering the logic. Does that mean we should let him stay? Sun Yuanchao shook his head vigorously. If he stays, we teachers will all have to leave. Who would dare to teach with him around? The principal furrowed his brow. So what do you suggest? Sun Yuanchao smiled and said, I believe we could allow Lin Hui to take them with him, but without granting them diplomas. Upon returning to the military, Lin Hui was tasked with continuing to encourage their studies, and at the end of the semester, they would come for an assessment. If they passed, graduation certificates would be issued. This approach would not undermine the rules while ensuring his departure. The 2 men, thrilled, exclaimed, Excellent, this is a great plan. Quickly, let him leave. If he doesn't, the teachers at school will go mad. In the corridor, Lin Hui spotted Sun Yuanchao striding toward him and hurriedly approached to inquire. How did it go, teacher? The higher-ups have agreed, Sun Yuanchao replied. Lin Hui was instantly elated. Thank you. I am truly grateful. Sun Yuanchao raised his hand to halt him. However, there is a condition. Once you return to your old unit, you must continue to guide them in their studies, and they must return to the school for examinations at the end of the semester. Only upon passing can the certificates be issued. Lin Hui's expression immediately soured. What? Do I have to continue being their caretaker? How about this? I will stay at school for another month, during which I will accompany them daily and supervise their studies. If they have any questions, I will consult you right away. No, please don't. Sun Yuanchao was taken aback. You must quickly take those few with you. I beseech you. Our establishment is too small to accommodate such a grand figure. Chapter 243, An Unconventional Farewell Feast at noon. After finishing their lunch, Wang Yong and the others returned to the dormitory, their faces filled with bewilderment. Where's Huigu? We haven't seen him all morning. Could he be secretly up to no good without us? If he is doing bad things without involving us, that is not very brotherly. Just then, Lin Hui's voice came from behind. What is unbrotherly? The group turned around and hurried to surround him, resembling tadpoles seeking their mother. Huigu, where have you been? We thought you got lost. What are those 2 red books? Certificates? Before Lin Hui could respond, Wang Yong snatched the items from his hands. Lin Hui was left speechless. You really are quick on the uptake. Wang Yong's voice rose several octaves as he incredulously examined the certificates, looking back at Lin Hui. Wow, Huigu, you graduated already? You've received your diploma? Let me see, let me see. Chun Eru quickly took them. Wow, Huigu, you're amazing. Graduating early in less than 2 years. That is impressive. Suda was equally astonished. Can students at Lu University graduate early? I've never heard of that before. Zhang Wei gazed at him with envy. Lin Hui, you are truly remarkable. You excel wherever you go. You must be one of a kind in the history of Lu University. Lin Hui smiled with pride. Oh, it's nothing. Just a small feat suddenly. Chin Eru realized something and stared at him blankly. Wait a minute. Huigu, you've received your diploma. Does that mean you're leaving the school? Lin Hui nodded with a smile. Yes, I've received the notification to report back to my old unit. What? Everyone's faces fell instantly. Chun Eru clung to his arm tightly, unwilling to let go. Don't go. If you leave, how will I survive? Wang Yong also held on to him, a look of grievance on his face. Huigu, you can't leave. What will we do if you go? If you must leave, I'll make Eru bang his head against the wall to end it. Chun Eru nodded in agreement. Yes, let Suda bang his head against the wall. Uffed. Suda nearly spat blood from laughter. What does this have to do with me? He reluctantly cast a glance at Lin Hui, questioning whether he truly had to depart and if there was any possibility of staying. Observing their desperate pleas, Lin Hui felt a warmth in his heart. This was the essence of true brotherhood. Clearing his throat, he declared, Enough. If I'm not here, you'll undoubtedly cause chaos. Remaining here would only bring disgrace to our old unit. Everyone, gather your belongings and accompany me. The school has granted permission. Huh. Everyone was momentarily taken aback. Are we being expelled? Chun Eru hastily released his grip, sniffing back his tears. Brother Hui, I was merely jesting. Staying here is quite splendid. You should leave swiftly. Wang Yong quickly took a large step back, maintaining his distance from Lin Hui. We've only just arrived. If we leave, we can no longer serve as officers. Forget what we just said. You should return alone. Suda awkwardly regarded Lin Hui. Safe travels. We want to see you off. Lin Hui felt an overwhelming urge to unleash his frustration upon them. These treacherous souls, who had just moments ago displayed such emotional attachment, now turned their backs in an instant, akin to a man who turns his back after pulling up his trousers. He glared fiercely at them. Who said you are being expelled? The school has agreed for all of you to return with me to our old unit. I will oversee your continued studies. Return for exams at the end of the term, and as long as you achieve passing grades, you will still receive your diplomas. Upon hearing this, everyone wore polite, yet awkward smiles. Ha ha ha, why didn't you say so earlier? If only you had mentioned it sooner. Brother Hui, please don't take offense. We didn't mean it that way. Yes, we are truly going to miss you. Lin Hui kicked at one of them in frustration, retorting, enough chatter. Hurry. Pack your things. We'll head back to the old unit tomorrow. Yes, the thought of returning to the Tiger Regiment, to see those familiar and endearing comrades, filled everyone with exuberance. Though they had grown accustomed to their time here, home would always remain home, irreplaceable in its essence. Wang Yong joyfully threw a couple of punches in the air, exclaiming, Finally, I can return and showcase my skills. Chun Eru's face beamed with delight. Once we return, I will thoroughly assess the utility of what I learned at school. Suda's countenance was also filled with joy. They could finally go back. In the next moment, a group encircled him. Squad leader Su, you are the best this time. Indeed, from non-commissioned officer to commissioned officer, after finishing military school, you will have transformed from a chicken into a phoenix. You will surely astonish them. Suda, at a loss for words, chuckled. Why does your praise sound so peculiar coming from you? As everyone busied themselves with packing, a sudden knock resounded from outside. They turned to find Feng Chao standing at the door, causing them all to sit up straight in alarm. Instinctively, they shielded their belongings behind them, as if caught in an act of shameful deceit. Lin Hui felt an unusual twinge of guilt, awkwardly smiling. Ah, it's you, squad leader. What brings you here? Feng Chao approached and surveyed the scene, speaking gravely. I know you are preparing to leave. The group felt a sudden pang of unease upon their arrival. This individual had always been at odds with them. However, misunderstandings were eventually resolved, and they became good classmates and close friends, forging a bond of camaraderie. The most daunting aspect of human relationships is the emergence of emotions, especially during farewells, as these feelings tug at the heartstrings, leaving everyone in discomfort. Lin Hui stepped aside and announced, We have received our orders. We depart tomorrow. Feng Chao glanced at the bags on the bed and sighed. He had already learned of this from their homeroom teacher. Otherwise, he would not have come. He turned to Lin Hui, saying, We have applied to the school and reserved 3 tables in the cafeteria for a farewell dinner for the whole class. Lin Hui forced a smile. Is that really necessary? It is indeed essential. Feng Chao insisted earnestly. You are our brother, our comrade, and a dear elder brother. Thus, your presence at this farewell banquet is imperative. With that, he turned and left. The dormitory fell into an eerie silence. Everyone exchanged glances, their faces stripped of the earlier joy. They placed their luggage aside and sat silently on their beds, engulfed in an endless quietude. Lin Hui let out a deep sigh, choosing not to utter another word. In the evening, the cafeteria opened on schedule. Lin Hui and his companions approached the side entrance, a section of the school reserved for hosting meals for guests and higher-ups, rarely used by students. "Come in," Feng Chao called, having arrived early to wait for them. He led them into a private room adorned with 3 large round tables. As Lin Hui and his friends entered, all the students rose, including Vice Principal Chen Qing, their homeroom teacher Sun Yuanzhao, and several instructors. Lin Hui paused, his emotions swirling in complexity, while the others felt as though their legs were weighed down with lead, unable to move. Enough of this lingering. Sun Yuanzhao beckoned with a wave, cheerfully declaring, "After this farewell banquet, we shall part ways. Regardless of any past conflicts or grievances, let this meal signify a fresh start. Wishing you all smooth sailing in the future. But for now, let us eat, lest the dishes grow cold." Lin Hui took a deep breath and smiled brightly. "All right, let us dine." He led his companions with purposeful strides toward the tables. At the banquet, toasts were exchanged fervently. One by one, individuals approached Lin Hui to raise their glasses. "Brother Hui, I used to oppose you, and now I deeply regret it. If only I could return and slap myself twice. What was I thinking, challenging Brother Hui? You have awakened us, showing us that there are always those greater than ourselves. Thank you. Brother Hui, when you return to the old unit, do not forget Lu Da, nor forget the brothers from class 10. Never will I." They clinked their glasses together and drank. Soon, the toasts flowed liberally, and the dishes remained largely untouched, while the bottles emptied rapidly. Wang Yong and his companions succumbed to the effects of the drink, sprawled on the table like lifeless dogs. Many, after finishing their drinks, were overcome with tears. Feng Chao and a group of individuals approached Lin Hui, weeping uncontrollably. "Hui go, we do not wish for you to leave. We cannot bear to see you go." Chen Qing, witnessing this scene, felt a lump form in his throat. Graduation signifies a farewell that may lead to a lifetime of separation, an event marked by tears for those who depart each year. Yet, he had never witnessed such profound sorrow as today, with the entire class engulfed in tears, so deeply reluctant to part ways. The teachers cast glances at Lin Hui, sighing inwardly. Despite his seemingly carefree demeanor and silver tongue, he undeniably possessed a unique charm. For a soldier, having forged such strong bonds in such a brief time is indeed a rarity. Lin Hui's eyes glistened with emotion as he felt a pang in his heart. He vigorously patted the backs of his comrades, laughing heartily. "You are all strong men. Why are you crying? Wipe those tears away. We are soldiers of the people, the steadfast support of the nation and its citizens. We bleed and sweat, but we do not weep, understand?" "Yes," they shouted in unison, tears still streaming down their faces. Feng Chao clutched his arm tightly, slightly inebriated, stating, "Hui go, I have never admired anyone in my life. Since childhood, I have always been first in my class and my grade. Even here, though some perform better than I have never felt defeated because I knew I could surpass them. However, upon meeting you, encountering someone of your caliber, I am utterly in awe. Not merely because your exam scores surpass mine, or your military skills exceed my own, but because you are already so strong, yet you uplift everyone around you, fostering collective growth." He gestured towards the 4 individuals slumped over the table. "Your care for them, and for us has not gone unnoticed. In you, I see what it truly means to be a soldier. Individual strength is insignificant. It is the strength of the collective that truly matters." Feng Chao raised his glass solemnly, declaring, "Hui go, when I graduate, I will surely find a way to seek you out. You must guide me as a soldier." Lin Hui laughed heartily. "It is a promise. I eagerly await your arrival to serve under me." He then downed his drink in one go. The others echoed, "Hui go, we too wish to serve under you." "Excellent," Lin Hui exclaimed, laughter filling the air. "I shall await you in Southwest 602. The revelry continued until after 9 o'clock, with everyone from class 10 eventually slumped over. Sun Yuanzhao specifically summoned individuals from the adjacent class to assist in escorting them back to their dormitories. Chen Qing, intoxicated, approached Lin Hui and playfully punched him in the chest. "You rascal, are you impervious to drunkenness? How many have you consumed? I suspect you alone polished off 4 or 5 bottles." Lin Hui chuckled. "It's merely a gift. I have a robust constitution, what can I say?" Chen Qing rolled his eyes. "Upon returning, make sure to apply yourself diligently. Do not squander the knowledge you have acquired over such a long period. Put it to good use." "Yes," Lin Hui saluted. Chen Qing fixed his gaze upon him and earnestly declared, "You, my boy, are the finest soldier I have ever encountered, possessing remarkable learning abilities and a strong sense of loyalty. I firmly believe that in the future, you shall surpass your father." A radiant smile graced Lin Hui's face as he replied, "Thank you for your recognition, Vice Principal. I will certainly relay this to my father." Chen Qing was taken aback. the very thought startling him sober. If those words were to reach the elder leader's ears, what chaos would ensue? The old commander was notoriously meticulous. He would surely make life miserable for him. He cleared his throat twice and stated, "Such sentiments need not be conveyed. Consider it my personal encouragement to you." Lin Hui nodded eagerly, of course. In truth, he harbored a wish for his father to hear those words, if only to showcase how exceptional he had become and how others acknowledged his worth. The following day, at 5 in the morning, before dawn had broken, Lin Hui sprang from his bed and roused his companions. "Wake up, it's time to rise." A group of groggy individuals, nursing throbbing heads from the previous night's revelries, murmured in confusion, "So early? What's the rush? A bathroom trip? Let us sleep a little longer." While fumbling in the dark to dress, Lin Hui whispered, "No time for idle chatter. We must leave quietly before everyone awakens." It dawned upon them that they were to depart discreetly, avoiding the emotional weight of farewells. The most poignant goodbyes are often those that occur in silence. Promptly, everyone scrambled to don their clothes, gather their belongings, and stealthily followed Lin Hui downstairs. At the entrance of the corridor, a duty officer spotted Lin Hui and his companions. Astonished, he inquired, "You're up so early? The arranged vehicle hasn't arrived yet." Lin Hui smiled and replied, "No need for that. We'll walk to the station ourselves." The officer gaped in disbelief. "The station is quite far. How long will it take you?" To which Lin Hui and his comrades saluted, "A soldier never fears distance. On 2 legs, we can traverse to the ends of the earth." The duty officer returned the salute. "Old soldiers, safe travels." Lin Hui offered a faint smile, lowered his hand, and led his group out of the dormitory with purpose. As they journeyed, the 4 companions chattered animatedly. "When we return, will everyone be astonished to see us?" One mused. "They will certainly be thrilled. We should prepare. Perhaps we shall indulge in another feast upon our return." Suda scoffed, "You're dreaming. Have you forgotten how we left the commander in quite a predicament? We'll likely face repercussions." Wang Yong chuckled, "It's been so long. The commander must have forgotten." Chun Era chimed in, "Even if he seeks us out, no worries. Huige has a knack for mischief. He might just pull another fast one on the commander." "Look!" Zhang Wei suddenly exclaimed, pointing ahead. Instantly, everyone turned to see 3 rows of soldiers lined up at the school gate, with Sun Yuanchao standing at the forefront. They stood tall and proud, like flagpoles, unwavering against the wind. Lin Hui's eyes misted with emotion. They had quietly departed to avoid witnessing the heart-wrenching scene of farewell. Yet their brothers had anticipated their thoughts and had been waiting here all along. Sun Yuanchao bellowed, "Half-turn left." A sharp crack echoed in the air. As everyone simultaneously turned left at a precise 45 degrees, they saluted. The entire Class 10 raised their right hands vigorously in salute. Wang Yong's lips quivered. "Huige, I want to cry." Chun Eru cleared his throat. "My nose feels sour. Damn it. What's happening?" Lin Hui took a deep breath and solemnly commanded, "Stand at attention. March in step." The 5 immediately formed a line and marched forward. As they brushed past Class 10, Lin Hui bellowed, "Salute." In an instant, the 5 raised their right hands in return. Fang Chao and his group trembled as if electrified. LV Gao bit his lip, tears brimming in his eyes. "I can't bear it. I want to cry." Li Shanghe watched Lin Hui and the others exit the school gate, his right hand shaking uncontrollably. "Me too, my heart aches." Fang Chao's tears swirled in his eyes. "No crying. No one is allowed to cry. Brother Hui said we are soldiers of the people. We shed blood and sweat, but not tears." Yes. Everyone suppressed their tears. Sun Yuanchao shouted, "Right turn." Clap. Everyone adjusted their direction, gazing at the departing figures, collectively shouting, "Veterans, take care." Chapter 245. The future of the Tiger Regiment rests with us. The station bustled with activity. The 5 figures clad in army green stood out conspicuously in the crowd. Wang Yong clutched his stomach. "I need to use the restroom. I can't hold it any longer." Chun Eru peered into the distance. "Huige, I'm going to check the snack bar for something tasty. Do you want anything?" "No need," Lin Hui replied, glancing at Suda and Zhang Wei. "Class leader, you 2 handle the ticket purchasing." "No problem." The 2 took several military identification cards and headed towards the ticket counter. With nothing to do, Lin Hui decided to wander around the vicinity. The station was crowded, with travelers bustling about, laden with bags. Turning a corner, Lin Hui noticed a telephone booth nearby. After a moment's hesitation, he approached, inserted a coin, and dialed a number. In the living room, Zhang Lanying helped Lin Guangyao into his military jacket, thoughtfully smoothing the corners of his attire. Lin Guangyao, flushed with excitement, praised, "This uniform is beautifully pressed, absolutely sharp. My dear, you're so busy. How do you find time to come back and help me with my clothes?" Zhang Lanying shot him a glance. "Just these 2 days. Soon I'll be off to conduct business and won't be back for a while. I've bought groceries, washed and pressed those clothes for you. While I'm away, take care of yourself, eat on time, and drink less, understood?" "Understood, understood. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself." You just focus on your work. Lin Guanyao's tone was slightly impatient, yet warmth filled his heart. I'll check if the porridge is ready. Jiang Lanying turned towards the kitchen, and suddenly the phone in the living room rang. Just as Lin Guanyao picked it up, he heard a single word from the other end. Dad. He froze. Having been at Lu University for some time now, he had called his mother, older brother, and second brother, but he had yet to call himself. Suddenly hearing his voice was quite unexpected. Yet, Lin Guanyao, with his habitual scowl, inquired, what is it? Lin Hui initially intended to report his current situation to him. However, for reasons unknown, upon hearing his father's voice, his tone inexplicably grew defiant. Nothing much. Just wanted to inform you that I am no longer at Lu University and will soon be returning to the military. Lin Guanyao erupted in fury. You little rascal. Are you attempting to skip school? Are you tired of living? Who is skipping school? Lin Hui retorted, utterly baffled by his father's assumption. He hastily recounted the events that transpired. Upon hearing the details, Lin Guanyao was left speechless. Graduating early from a military academy was unprecedented. How exceptional must one be to accomplish such a feat? A sense of pride swelled within Lin Guanyao. Ah, my son has made something of himself. Is there anything else? He inquired. Lin Hui, with a nonchalant demeanor, replied, I called to let you know that there's no need for any underhanded tactics. I will not be coming to your side. I am now a graduate of the military academy, elite among the elite. I want you to understand that I will become a commendable soldier without your coercion. When I don the uniform, I will surpass you significantly. The next time we meet, either you will salute me, or I will defeat your subordinates on the training grounds. With a serious tone, he declared, I was serious last time. I said I would defeat you, and I will. With that, he hung up abruptly, the phone slamming down with a definitive thud. Lin Guanyao stood in the living room, momentarily at a loss for words. In the next moment, anger flared in his eyes, and he muttered under his breath, that little brat. Unwilling to spare even the phone bill. Has he gone mad with poverty? He had initially thought Lin Hui was calling to bring him good news, only to be met with a declaration of war instead. How dare he claim to be superior? Traditionally, it has always been the father instructing the son. Am I to allow this impudent child to overturn my authority? Whose call was that? Jiang Lanying asked as she emerged from the kitchen with some items. Lin Guanyao replaced the phone, suppressing his frustration with a smile. Nothing, just work-related matters. Turning away, his expression darkened. Little rascal. I shall see just how much capability you possess, and whether you can truly overcome my formidable presence. After leaving the phone booth, Lin Hui felt a sense of relief. Yet, a tinge of regret lingered in his heart. He had intended to call home to share good news, but upon hearing his father's voice, his words had completely changed. Perhaps it stemmed from a lifetime of opposing his father. When he directed him east, he would invariably head west. Over time, it became a habit that proved difficult to alter. Throughout his upbringing, Lin Hui longed for his father's acknowledgement, yet he disliked conforming to his father's expectations, preferring to earn recognition on his own terms. This often led to various conflicts and misunderstandings, resulting in many a beating during his childhood. With a slight sigh, Lin Hui reflected, well, I've spoken my piece and made my boasts. Regardless, I am determined to surpass you. Having secured his train ticket, he waited briefly before the announcement echoed through the waiting hall. Everyone grabbed their bags and boarded the train, taking their assigned seats. The vehicle roared to life, and Wang Yong, filled with excitement, turned to ask, do you think we will receive promotions upon our return? The others exchanged glances, rolling their eyes. Lin Hui might. But for us, it's a distant dream. We haven't even graduated yet. Ah, I almost forgot. Wang Yong chuckled. If we don't get promoted, so be it. After all, being a military academy student is already impressive. Once we return to the regiment, I can strut around with pride. The others beamed with joy. In this day and age, a university degree is already a prized possession, and being a military academy graduate elevates that status even further. Among the Tiger Regiment, only a handful have attended military academies, and all are key figures within the unit. This implies that, as long as they graduate successfully, they can transition from ordinary soldiers to esteemed officers. What an honor to bring glory to their families. Lin Hui felt equally buoyant. Upon our return, it's crucial that we showcase our skills. Let us not bring shame upon ourselves or our commander. We must strive to make our regiment the best in the division, the finest in the entire army, and even renowned across the entire theater of operations. Yes, let us do it. The group shouted with enthusiasm, drawing the attention of all the passengers in front, who turned to stare at them in bewilderment. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Lin Hui quickly gestured for silence, prompting everyone to lower their heads. Yet, their faces remained alight with anticipation. To grow strong and achieve greatness, the future of the Tiger Regiment rests upon our shoulders. Come, let us gather our energy. Keep it down. Lin Hui extended his hand, and the other four followed suit, stacking their hands atop one another. With fervor, they whispered, Tiger Regiment, Kill, kill, kill. Hours later, the vehicle reached its destination. After the passengers in front disembarked, Lin Hui and his companions collected their luggage and stepped down. Standing by the roadside, Lin Hui stretched and took a deep breath. Let us go, we need to transfer. Just a few steps later, the others suddenly froze in place. Lin Hui, puzzled, asked, what is wrong with you all? Upon seeing their silence, he turned around, and his expression turned to one of shock. What, you're here? Chapter 246. An invitation from elite forces. The radiant sunlight filtered through the gaps in the leaves, casting a warm glow. Wang Yixue, clad in military attire, stood half bathed in sunlight, the other half cloaked in shadow. This contrast accentuated her striking features, making her appear even more poised and charismatic. The uniform highlighted her graceful figure, the shirt struggling to contain her elegant neck. With her hands clasped behind her back, she offered Lin Hui a subtle smile, revealing 2 gentle dimples. What is the matter? Am I not allowed to come? Before Lin Hui could respond, the 2 imbeciles beside him grinned like mischievous foxes. Of course, you can come. Lin Hui shot them a glare. Get lost. Go somewhere else. All right. We're off. What about you? Just wait for me by the roadside. Sure. The group chuckled slyly and hurried away. Lin Hui approached Wang Yixue, sizing her up curiously. How did you know I graduated from the military academy? Wang Yixue smiled proudly and replied, I work at the theater headquarters. Is there anything I wouldn't know? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Oh please, my dad doesn't even know, and he is of higher rank than you. What is with the airs? Wang Yixue was infuriated. She had hoped that he had improved, intending to have a heartfelt conversation, but it seemed utterly futile. Lin Hui, noticing her furious demeanor, couldn't help but smile. This is the Wang Yixue I know. He chuckled mischievously. Speak up, or I'll give you a slap. Wang Yixue's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. You pervert, still such a rogue. Come on, let us move to a more private spot. This place is not suitable, she said, turning towards a quieter area. Seeing her lead the way, Lin Hui rubbed his hands together, grinning. Well, since you're actually following me, I won't hold back. They arrived at a secluded flowerbed, and just as Wang Yixue was about to turn around, a sharp sting on her backside startled her, causing her to jump. Covering her rear, she exclaimed in a mix of anger and embarrassment. What are you doing? Lin Hui slowly withdrew his hand, a playful grin on his face. Didn't you bring me to an empty place for a couple of slaps? I must admit, it feels quite nice. Growing up certainly has its perks, such elasticity. Wang Yixue flushed crimson, resembling a volcano ready to erupt. I called you here to discuss matters, not to strike me. Lin Hui awkwardly chuckled. My apologies, but this isn't entirely my fault. You didn't clarify your intentions. Honestly, my hand is still numb from that. He suggested playfully. How about you give me a couple of slaps, and we'll call it even? With that, he playfully raised his rear and wiggled it at her. Wang Yixue stepped back in shock. Rogue. Who said anything about hitting you? Time waits for no one. Look, I came to talk business. Lin Hui straightened up, adjusting his attire. Go on, he prompted. Wang Yixue took a deep breath, fixing her gaze on him. In fact, I wanted to speak with you privately last time, but you unexpectedly joined the training exercise and then entered military school, leaving me without an opportunity. I am here to formally invite you to join the Xianyuan Special Forces of the Central Plains War Zone. Lin Hui's eyes widened in surprise. Special Forces? Wang Yixue nodded. Indeed, but this unit is unlike any you have encountered before. Both the Wild Wolves and Black Tigers belong to the second category of Special Forces. They operate in brigades and battalions, primarily composed of conscripts, with merely an expanded training regimen for reconnaissance. To put it simply, they don't qualify as true Special Forces, but rather as advanced scouts. However, Xianyuan is different. It is a premier Special Forces unit in the country, directly under the command of the War Zone headquarters, endowed with significant authority, and all members are officers. Her captivating gaze fixed on Lin Hui, she continued. Thus, I have come specifically to invite you to join. Lin Hui, intrigued, asked, haven't you always looked down on us? I recall you stating I was like mud that couldn't be molded. Wang Yixue blushed. In the past, I admittedly underestimated you. But she waved her hand dismissively. Enough of that. Are you willing to join or not? I traveled quite a distance to find you. Lin Hui inquired. I'm curious. What distinguishes the first category of Special Forces from the second? Or rather, what sets Xianyuan apart? With pride emanating from her expression, Wang Yixue replied. The difference is monumental. If Special Forces are akin to a sharp blade on the battlefield, then Xianyuan is the finest edge among all knives. The global landscape is undergoing transformation. The localized conflicts instigated by the West have illuminated the stark contrasts between contemporary special operations and those of the past. They possess the capability to infiltrate deep into enemy territory, execute targeted eliminations of commanders, and even penetrate the very heart of the adversary to sabotage critical infrastructures. She continued, Recalling the Desert War from a decade prior when elite American forces ventured ahead of the battlefield, retrieving all pertinent coordinates of the enemy. By the time the conflict commenced, the adversary was already caught off guard, subjected to precise bombardments that swiftly incapacitated their combat effectiveness. Following this, special forces infiltrated further behind enemy lines to disrupt operations and eliminate key figures, rendering vast armies paralyzed and reduced to mere targets. Shura represents such a formidable special force. Moreover, the resources and equipment at our disposal are unparalleled by those of other secondary units. Lin Hui was taken aback. Is it truly that formidable? It seems indeed that the Black Tiger and the Wild Wolf have ignited Wang Yishue's fervor, her cheeks aflame with excitement. To be honest, since you emerged from the island, I have been observing you. I was mistaken in my previous judgment, thinking you were inadequate, but now it is evident that you are an extraordinary soldier. Thus, Shura is a more fitting environment for you, where you can fully unleash your potential. Lin Hui chuckled. Are you apologizing to me? Wang Yishue paused, reluctantly nodding. I suppose so. So what do you say? Would you consider joining us? Here, you will find greater opportunities for development, and as for your old unit, fret not. I will make the necessary introductions. Here lies the honor and pinnacle of infantry. She extended her hand toward Lin Hui. He glanced at her and firmly shook her hand. Wang Yishue smiled softly, yet in the next moment, Lin Hui grinned and said, I'm afraid I must decline. Shocked, she widened her eyes and abruptly withdrew her hand. Why shake hands if you have no intention of joining me? Lin Hui chuckled. It would be impolite otherwise. Wang Yishue rolled her eyes. So? All that I just conveyed was in vain. Do you not comprehend the might of this unit? Do you not desire to be part of a superior force? To embrace better prospects? Joining us would allow you to learn so much more. Lin Hui replied calmly. I have understood your points. Knowing is sufficient for me. I can return to my regiment and transform it into a force even stronger than yours. Wang Yishue, frustrated, laughed incredulously. The resources differ, the starting points vary. You are merely an ordinary regiment within a conventional force with a fixed annual budget. Though we are just a squadron, our military funding exceeds yours by at least 20-fold. The avenues for advancement and the level of attention we receive far surpass yours. Attempting to surpass us is but a fantasy. Lin Hui smiled slightly. Whether it is a fantasy, you shall come to know in due time. What leads you to say that? Lin Hui, appearing relaxed, responded, because there lie my dearest comrades, ready to fight alongside me through thick and thin. I have become who I am today, thanks to these ordinary soldiers. They have instilled in me a sense of purpose and direction. Now, with these same ordinary soldiers, I too can surpass you. Wang Yishue was left speechless for quite some time. After a considerable pause, a faint smile graced her face. Very well, if you are unwilling to go, then do not go. I shall support your decision. Lin Hui found himself in a state of bewilderment. Why did it seem to him that this woman had changed somewhat? Wait, are you still Wang Yishue? At this moment, you ought to be angry, hurling a few insults my way, and perhaps even spitting in my direction. Wang Yishue's smile was as refreshing as a spring breeze. Currently, I am stationed in the Central Plains War Zone. While I may not be of much assistance, I can still be of some help. Should you require anything, do not hesitate to let me know. I will certainly do my utmost. She gazed at Lin Hui and earnestly declared, to have progressed from a mere pig farmer to where you are now, I must admit, I truly admire you. You are remarkable. If anyone else had uttered those words, I would have undoubtedly rolled my eyes. Wang Yishue gently poked his forehead with her finger. But for you, I am willing to believe. With that, she urged, now, hurry along. Otherwise, you will miss your ride. As she retreated with her hands clasped behind her back, her sweet smile lingered, and she turned to sprint away. Lin Hui stood there, momentarily stunned, until he finally came to his senses. Rubbing his head, he muttered to himself. What has happened to this woman? Has she entered menopause early? Chapter 247. You wish to invite him, yet he looks down upon you. Lin Hui shook his head, entirely perplexed by Wang Yishue's thoughts. Slowly, he extended his hand, grasping the air as he savored the sensation with a mischievous grin. The feel is rather delightful. Had I known, I would have exerted a bit more force earlier. But no rush. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. After all, my rear end is firmly planted here and cannot fly away. Upon turning his head, he was startled by 4 large heads peering from behind the wall. What on earth are you doing? The group chuckled deviously. We want to help you keep watch. Lin Hui glared at them. Do I need your surveillance? It seems you lot still haven't grasped the situation. I'm heading back to the unit soon. Do you wish to be thoroughly dealt with? The group jumped in surprise and hastily fled, exclaiming, we saw nothing, nothing at all. As evening descended, Wang Yishue returned to the camp, quickly freshened up, and headed to the mess hall for dinner. After finishing her meal, she casually returned her tray to the collection area. Just as she washed her hands and was about to leave, someone called out to her. Halt! Wang Yishue paused momentarily, turning around. She exhaled in relief, exclaiming, "You startled me." A man with a stern expression approached, hands clasped behind his back. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, his features resembled a finely crafted sculpture. His eyes were sharp, and his brows like two pointed daggers. His high nose and the absence of any excess flesh on his face complemented his powerful musculature, which filled out his camouflage uniform. Standing at nearly 6'3", he appeared from a distance like a formidable tank. Wang Chen stood before her, coldly inquiring, "Where have you been?" Wang Yixue shrugged her shoulders. "You are not my superior. Why should I inform you?" As she turned to leave, Wang Chen narrowed his eyes. "You've gone to meet that young man from the Lin family, Haven to you? Were you following me?" Wang Yixue spun around angrily, glaring at him. "I have no interest in following you," Wang Chen retorted dismissively. "I was merely trying to catch you off guard." Wang Yixue was rendered speechless in an instant. After much effort in safeguarding the secret, it was unexpectedly revealed by him. She held her head high, nonchalantly stating, "Yes, I did meet him. What is the problem?" Wang Chen furrowed his brow and inquired, "You despise him so much. Why would you voluntarily go to see him? That scoundrel has been nothing but trouble since childhood, constantly bullying you. Do you not recall when you asked me to confront him on your behalf?" Wang Yixue retorted, "People inevitably change. You once aspired to pursue art. Yet you ended up in a military academy, becoming a commander of special forces. If you can change, why can't he?" Wang Chen scoffed. "No matter how much he changes, he remains a scoundrel. A leopard cannot change its spots. Can he possibly compare to me? I am inherently positive and driven, unlike him, who spends his days drinking, fighting, and shirking responsibility. Joining the military and attending the academy were my own choices, while that wretch was coerced by his father into service. He lives solely for others. Does he possess any ideals or aspirations of his own? Even if he dons this uniform, he remains a worthless lump, incapable of rising to any occasion. Frankly, it is a disgrace that someone like him has managed to survive in the military to this extent." He spoke sternly now. "You wish to recruit him into my ranks. This isn't a refuge for the inept or a waste disposal site." Wang Yixue glared at him with a serious expression, her eyes blazing with anger. "Brother, please refrain from viewing others through the lens of your past. People are not immutable. If you cling to the past and refuse to let go of minor grievances, how can you progress and improve the unit?" After being chastised by his own sister, Wang Chen struggled to maintain his composure. Frustrated, he exclaimed, "My unit is of the highest caliber, possessing both strength and capability. I do not need your guidance." Wang Yixue chuckled, "Our departments are currently in a cooperative relationship. You are not my direct superior, and I am not obliged to heed you. However, the responsibility of selecting talent has been entrusted to me, granting me the authority to choose suitable individuals for your unit. You have no right to obstruct me, nor to interfere in my affairs, or it would be considered insubordination." Wang Chen's face turned crimson, resembling a volcano on the verge of eruption. Yet, he soon regained his composure. Taking a deep breath, he earnestly stated, "I am doing this for your own good. Here's the deal. If you insist on having that boy join, I can make an exception and allow him to take a shortcut. However, you absolutely must not get involved with him. That guy is a disgrace. He is unworthy of you. His brothers are acceptable, albeit older." "Huh?" Wang Yixue rolled her eyes dramatically. "You want him to join, yet he doesn't even regard you highly." "What? He doesn't regard me highly?" Wang Chen's eyes widened in disbelief. Wang Yixue smiled mischievously. "Indeed. I invited him, but he declined, saying your unit is merely average, and once he trains his group, they will effortlessly outclass yours." Wang Chen was on the verge of exploding with rage. Nonsense. How audacious. This is sheer arrogance. He is merely an unconventional unit. I could easily send a few men to decapitate their regiment headquarters in a heartbeat. I could easily take him down as well. What does he think he is? To surpass me? He pointed at Wang Yixue, fuming. "Did you see that? Lin Hui is still the same as before, utterly unfocused. He talks of surpassing me, as if he isn't afraid of his own tongue getting caught in the wind. Shura is the strongest. No one can hope to surpass that." Wang Yixue, uninterested in further banter, retorted, "If mere words were effective, we could simply recite tongue twisters to defeat our enemies. If you truly have the capability to eliminate their regiment, then show me. If you cannot, cease your grandiose claims." With that, she turned on her heel and walked away. Wang Chen was furious, shouting at her retreating figure, "Regardless, I will not permit you two to be together. My disagreement stands firm, now and forever." Wang Yixue ignored him completely, dismissively waving her hand as she continued on her way. Wang Chen's eyes blazed with rage, his frustration boiling over at the memories of his sister being bullied. Just as he was about to seek revenge, Lin Hui had already dealt him a blow, further igniting his anger. Clenching his fists, he seethed. "In the past, your brother protected you, and I couldn't touch you. Now that you're in the army, I can finally confront you openly. How dare you speak so boldly? I will make you unrecognizable to your own mother." At the entrance of the Tiger Regiment, 5 figures stood. Lin Hui looked at the sign above the door with a broad smile. Home at last. Wang Yong and Chun Eru lay on the ground, kissing the earth. Finally back. Oh dear mother, after such a long time away, there's nothing quite like home. I've dreamt of this every single night. The others gazed at the familiar entrance, feeling a deep sense of nostalgia. This place was their second home. As they approached, the guards at the entrance were momentarily stunned, frozen like statues. Lin Hui, with a cheerful smile, asked, "What's the matter? Don't you recognize us?" The guards instantly erupted with excitement. Deputy Captain Lin, Team Leader Su, is that really you? Call everyone, quickly. Lin Hui and his companions exchanged bewildered glances. What is going on? Why do they look at us as if we are ghosts? Chapter 248, Returning Only to Seize Power? Thud, thud, thud. Outside the regiment commander's office, hurried footsteps echoed. Lu Qingsong, his face aflame with anger, stormed in with several men. With a bang, he kicked the door open. Zhou Zhongyi, startled, stood up straight. Lin Hui and his companions immediately saluted. Good day, Commander. Lu Qingsong, brimming with fury, retorted, Good day? Seeing you all, how could I possibly be well? The regiment commander awkwardly chuckled. Commander, actually, Lu Qingsong interrupted him mercilessly, glaring at Lin Hui and the others. Who allowed you to return? Sending you to military school was for your own good. Do you all think you're so impressive? You are far inferior to those students. Don't let military prowess cloud your judgment. Without cultural knowledge to support you, you will only be relegated to menial labor. Such important matters, and you show no regard. What a waste. Commander, Zhou Zhongyi attempted to interject, but was cut off again. Silence. LV Qingsong, filled with indignation, pointed at him and exclaimed, You are truly worthless. A soldier is only as good as his commander. If you cannot even manage your troops properly, what purpose does your role as a regiment leader serve? He turned his ire towards Lin Hui and the others, exclaiming, After all these years in the military, I have witnessed countless individuals joyfully heading to military academies and returning just as jubilantly. Yet, here you are, the audacity to act like deserters. Attending a military academy is merely about acquiring knowledge. Is it not far superior to toiling from dawn till dusk in training? You all are nothing more than a bunch of dullards. Quickly, bind them up and bring them back, tightly. Zhou Zhongyi, nearly suffocated by the tension, shouted, Commander. LV Qingsong glared at him. What is it? I am not deaf. With a look of disbelief, Zhou Zhongyi replied, It's not as you think. I have inquired. And they graduated early. They did not flee. LV Qingsong, utterly bewildered, could hardly believe it. Are you trying to deceive me? I have sent numerous individuals to military academies each year, and I have never heard of anyone graduating early. Do you take me for a child? Without hesitation, Lin Hui promptly produced 2 certificates and handed them over. Commander, please take a look. LV Qingsong accepted the certificates with skepticism and opened them, his expression frozen in astonishment. The certificates bore a steel seal, rendering them impossible to forge. Yet, this was unfathomable. He had never heard of early graduation from the Army University. What on earth is going on here? Explain yourself. Zhou Zhongyi smiled and said, After Xiao Lin and the others arrived at the Army University, they studied diligently, completing years of coursework in less than a year. They consistently topped their exams, and their overall annual assessment scores were astounding. Thus, the school made an exception, allowing them to graduate early. Upon hearing this, LV Qingsong's eyes widened, and his jaw nearly dropped to the ground in disbelief. He scrutinized Lin Hui. Lin Hui, how is it possible for you to achieve such excellence? The military academy is filled with talent, and most have fought their way up from humble beginnings. Yet you, having just arrived, are already at the top? Lin Hui chuckled. They are indeed remarkable, but our soldiers from grassroots units are not to be underestimated. Beside him, Zhou Zhongyi nodded vigorously. Well said. He gleefully turned to the commander, grinning as he claimed credit. Commander, the primary credit belongs to me. Did you not just say that a soldier is only as good as his commander? Then we must be exceptional, for Lin Hui is my protege. Lin Hui looked at him in exasperation. You certainly have a talent for self-aggrandizement. The others shared a look of disbelief, aside from Lin Hui. They had never encountered someone so shameless. LV Qingsong nodded meaningfully, but suddenly shot Zhou Zhongyi an incredulous glare. Damn it. Had I known this earlier, I would not have scolded the wrong person. Zhou Zhongyi feigned innocence. But you never gave me the chance to explain. LV Qingsong scoffed. If I didn't allow you to speak, could you not have found an opportunity? He proclaimed proudly. Moreover, what does this matter have to do with you? If we are to claim strength, it is I who should take the credit. You are merely my subordinate, and Lin Hui is my soldier. Zhou Zhongyi nearly choked. You dare to claim this credit? You are even more shameless than I am. At this moment, Lu Qingsong looked at Lin Hui and the others with a beaming smile, exclaiming, Impressive. Ha ha ha, you have brought glory to our division. There's no other early graduate in the entire army. Wait, hold on. Why didn't you hear anything from the military academy? Not even a greeting? Lin Hui awkwardly touched his nose and replied, that's because the school was concerned that an early notification would lead to the military's disapproval, preventing my departure. So, they opted for silence, implementing a strategy of post-facto approval. Once the matter is settled, there is no turning back. Lin Hui sighed inwardly, recognizing the efforts of Principal Liu and the faculty to facilitate his departure. He chuckled and swiftly changed the subject. Commander, now that we've completed our studies, shouldn't we be assigned some tasks? The other's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Lu Qingsong grinned, reassuring them, rest assured, you won't be idle. Moreover, your return is perfectly timed. Lin Hui and the others exchanged bewildered glances. Lu Qingsong, with a serious expression, continued, our military reforms are ongoing. However, unlike before, we will not simply disband certain units. Instead, we aim to meticulously select the elite to forge an exceptional force. In 4 months, there will be a grand competition across the entire theater, organized by regiment. The specific format has yet to be determined, but it is certain that the top 3 units will receive preferential resources from the theater, equipment, funding, and barracks renovations will not be an issue. He looked at Lin Hui and the others, his face beaming with joy. With all of you back, it's the perfect opportunity for you to showcase your talents and elevate our division's prestige. Ha ha ha, Lin Hui, you've truly caught a lucky break. When fortune arrives, it cannot be hindered. Lin Hui's heart soared with excitement, grateful for his early graduation. Such an opportunity was rare. As long as they could secure a commendable position in the theater competition, the Tiger Regiment would undoubtedly enhance its strength. With resources and equipment in abundance, along with improved facilities, everything would fall into place. He envisioned training the Tiger Regiment to unparalleled heights, confident that even the infamous Shura Special Forces would bow in submission. Rubbing his hands together with glee, he asked, Commander, what tasks will you assign us? Lu Qingsong smiled slightly. You will continue with the same duties you had upon your departure. What is this? Are you hoping for a promotion? Lin Hui chuckled. Having advanced my studies and strengthened my abilities, I believe a promotion wouldn't be out of the question. Dream on. Lu Qingsong retorted with a smirk. You've only just been promoted, and now you want more? Do you think this is your family business? Lin Hui's expression shifted, and he replied earnestly, Commander, you've misunderstood me. I have no interest in promotions at all. I simply wish to contribute more to our regiment and bring honor to our division. With this upcoming theater competition, we have a wealth of skills just waiting for the chance to shine. Commander, if you let me lead the entire regiment in training, I assure you, we will secure first place in the entire theater. Zhou Zhongyi pounded his thigh and gave a thumbs up. Well said. Commander, I wholeheartedly support him. Previously, when Xiao Lin led our regiment in training, we achieved outstanding results in exercises, and I am confident he will do so again. Let him continue training everyone. Lu Qingsong nodded slightly and turned to Lin Hui. How can you guarantee that? Lin Hui puffed out his chest. I can issue a military order. Zhou Zhongyi laughed heartily. Commander, young Lin has already issued a military order. There is no problem, definitely no problem. Just as Lu Qingsong was about to speak, Lin Hui suddenly interjected. But I have a condition. What is it? Lin Hui stated solemnly. I want the entire regiment under my command. Zhou Zhongyi's smile abruptly vanished. What the hell? You just returned and already want to seize power? Chapter 249. Are they already grooming Lin Hui to be the commander? Zhou Zhongyi was furious. Do you intend to ride on my coattails? Lin Hui smiled amiably. How could that be? You have always been my idol, the person I respect the most. Zhou Zhongyi's face flushed with anger. Stop flattering me. You actually want the entire regiment under your command. What do you want next? For me to march in step and salute you? Not at all. Lin Hui quickly shook his head. Commander, my intention is to benefit you. Of course. If you are willing, you could also appoint me as the deputy commander. Zhou Zhongyi exploded with rage. You even want to be the deputy commander? Dream on. Lin Hui, with utmost seriousness, replied, Commander, consider this. If you hand over the regiment to me and we secure first place in the army competition, wouldn't the accolades be yours? The attention from the war zone and the glory would all be yours. Moreover, wouldn't all the weapons, funding, and resources come to our regiment? In the end, you would be the one benefiting. I am merely trying to ease your burdens. Zhou Zhongyi stroked his chin, sensing a hint of reason in Lin Hui's words. However, he still felt something was amiss. He scrutinized Lin Hui. Is what you say true? Lin Hui assured him. It must be true. I was trained by you. Without you, there is no me. A drop of water shall be returned with a fountain of grace. I am now the fledgling bird repaying its benefactor. Upon hearing this, Zhou Zhongyi felt a surge of happiness and found himself less concerned. Although relinquishing power seemed daunting, it was ultimately for the good of the regiment. In the end, Lin Hui would exert effort, and they would share the glory. It was a situation where he could reap rewards while lying down. Where else could one find such an opportunity? As Lu Qingsong noticed Zhou Zhongyi was about to be swayed, he quickly cleared his throat. All right, regarding this matter. We shall discuss it further later and determine the specifics at that time. The rest of you may leave. I need to have a private conversation with Lin Hui. Yes. Everyone saluted and exited the office. Zhou Zhongyi winked at Lin Hui as he left, clearly already in agreement. Once the others departed and the door was closed, Lu Qingsong pulled up a chair, looking at Lin Hui with admiration. I never expected you to be so formidable wherever you go. You finished a 2-year course in less than a year and even graduated early. I've never seen such a thing in my years of service. I truly wonder how your mind works. Your learning ability is astounding. Lin Hui chuckled. It's mainly due to excellent leadership. It's not just my prowess, but the system's strength. Moreover, the more I learn, the more impressive I become. Where else can one find such rationale? Lu Qingsong smiled and said, strength is strength. Why be modest? I see your eagerness for improvement. Now that you have returned from your studies, you indeed possess the capability. However, one must progress step by step. A single bite cannot suffice to fill a hungry stomach. Although a diploma from a prestigious university holds value, it merely serves as a stepping stone. Your qualifications are still insufficient. You must make notable contributions for me to consider promoting you. Lin Hui nodded, fully aware of the underlying truth. Given his current standing, it would be challenging to achieve a promotion at this time. His age and experience were lacking, and it was unlikely that the higher-ups would repeatedly bend the rules for him. Within the ranks, there were many who were older and more capable. Attaining the position of regiment commander required rigorous evaluation from superiors, and only those with demonstrated competence could ascend. Elevating him without merit would surely incite discontent among others. Only through significant contributions and exemplary performance could he silence any dissent. Lin Hui saluted, affirming, understood. Lu Qingsong nodded and continued, looking across the entire military. Our theater is situated in a remote area, primarily characterized by mountainous terrain. Yet, our responsibilities are substantial. We must safeguard the extensive border. Thus, the upcoming military competition presents an excellent opportunity to demonstrate our strength to the higher authorities. Only through such displays can we secure greater resource allocation. In simpler terms, we need more funding and equipment to transform into a truly modernized force. Lin Hui's eyes brightened, instantly grasping the intent of the superiors. Currently, the entire military is undergoing reform, with a particular focus on the northern and coastal theaters, which bear heavier responsibilities and face more complex challenges. Since modern times, threats have predominantly emerged from the sea or the north. Consequently, the most elite units of the nation are stationed there. In that region, officers have ample opportunities for merit and consequently achieve promotions at a faster pace. In contrast, the southwest is remote. Despite the lengthy border, it is surrounded by weaker nations. The area has remained relatively stable, with only minor conflicts and skirmishes. Thus, the resources allocated here are comparatively meager, and the tasks at hand are fewer. To catch up with others, one must prove their worth. Otherwise, by the time the reforms are completed, while others have upgraded their equipment, we may still be left with outdated resources, leading to an ever-widening gap in capability, making it impossible to rectify. Lu Qingsong fixed his gaze on him and said sternly, you possess this ability, but the question remains, how strong are you? Show me, and showcase it to the theater. If you perform well, I might consider promoting you to not just deputy commander, but even commander. Yes, Lin Hui felt a surge of motivation. Other theaters were advancing quickly due to their inherent resources. If he could rise through merit here, it would truly reflect his capabilities. At that point, not only would his peers acknowledge him, but even his father would have to recognize his worth. Lu Qingsong stood up, preparing to leave. Lin Hui, you have a unique approach to training, and the current achievements of the Tiger Regiment are largely thanks to you. Having completed your studies, I trust you have become even more formidable. If you manage this regiment well, the other regiments in the division will also depend on you. Work diligently, and do not let me down. As Lu Qingsong nodded at him, Lin Hui felt a sudden weight in his heart. Is this meant to pass on the mantle to me, to cultivate me as a leader? Lu Qingsong patted his shoulder, saying, if you encounter any troubles or difficulties, come to me, and I will assist you wholeheartedly. As he turned to leave, Lin Hui hurriedly called out, Commander, what is it? I do have a small favor to ask. I desire certain items. Lu Qingsong chuckled heartily. As long as it enhances our regiment's combat capability, anything is negotiable. Lin Hui stated earnestly, I believe that for our regiment to stand out in competitions, we must possess not only military prowess, but also a flair for creativity. Lu Qingsong looked astonished. Creativity? What sort of creativity? Lin Hui, with utmost seriousness, replied, having visited the Army University, I witnessed foreign troops capable of soaring through the skies, traversing the earth, and even plunging into the sea. They are merely two shoulders carrying one head. Why should we be any less? Thus, I propose that we must embrace these elements and become adept in all domains. He passionately declared. My first step is to replace all our weapons with the Type 95 rifles. Furthermore, we should equip ourselves with paratrooper gear. I can teach them how to parachute. We also need kayaks. Armed swimming must be included. Camouflage nets and ghillie suits are essential, at least one for each member. Lu Qingsong was left speechless, nearly dislocating his jaw. Are you planning a heist? Perhaps you should choose a wealthier target. Look at my impoverished state. Should I procure a helicopter for you as well? All right. Lin Hui clapped his thigh. It's settled then. I almost forgot. Thanks for the reminder. Lu Qingsong's eyes blazed with fury as he shouted. I say, you rascal. Chapter 250. Zhou Zhongyi was at a loss for words. Have I become a mascot? Goodness gracious. Lu Qingsong seethed with rage. The items you mentioned are precisely what I desire. Why not form a team together? You carry the bowl, and I will lean on a stick beside you. And we shall go to headquarters. If we succeed, I will acknowledge you as my father. Lin Hui observed the commander's exasperated expression, feeling quite awkward. He was well aware of the circumstances within the regiment. It could be described as destitute. The war zone was already quite impoverished, and the 602nd was a second-tier unit. Naturally, the funding could not be compared to that of first-tier units. To this day, most troops within the regiment were still utilizing outdated equipment. Had they not been driven to desperation, Lu Qingsong would not have resorted to trading his own resources for better equipment with the Black Tigers. Of course, even with those items, it would still be a mere drop in the bucket. Seeing Lin Hui silent, Lu Qingsong sighed in resignation. Lin Hui, you are aware of our regiment's situation. It is indeed unfair to you. You could have pursued better opportunities elsewhere, yet you chose to stay. Nevertheless, I reiterate, if I can provide it, I will certainly do my utmost. But if it is beyond my means, there is little I can do. Lin Hui looked at him and asked, then if we achieve commendable results in this competition, can I smack? Lu Qingsong slammed his palm on the table, raising his voice by an octave. Even if you do not mention it, I will strive to negotiate with the higher-ups. As long as you all give your utmost effort, I will find a way to procure everything you need. If the aforementioned is not agreed upon, I shall strip bare and run naked in front of the command office daily, instilling fear in them. Lin Hui was met with a face full of spittle, yet he raised his thumb in admiration. The commander is truly commendable, our role model. LV Qingsong patted him on the shoulder, solemnly stating, you all must strive diligently. In our army, hard work will surely yield rewards. Indeed. Lin Hui saluted as the commander prepared to depart. Zhou Zhongyi awaited him in the corridor. Upon seeing the commander emerge, he hurriedly accompanied Lin Hui to the vehicle. Once the car departed, Lin Hui turned and joyfully exclaimed, Commander, it has been nearly a year since we last met. I missed you dearly. Zhou Zhongyi responded with a cold smirk. Brat, I missed you too. Pay me back. Lin Hui was momentarily taken aback. Pay back what? Zhou Zhongyi, filled with indignation, retorted. That meal cost me a fortune. Don't you owe me that? Do you have any idea how I've managed this past year? I've been repaying debts each month, and I'm still not done. He extended his hand. Hurry up and repay me. My family is not wealthy, and I've been living like a pauper this year. Lin Hui looked at him with a sense of grievance. Commander, that seems a bit unreasonable. Zhou Zhongyi, on the verge of bursting with rage, shot back. Who was truly unreasonable, you or me? After you put me in such a predicament? You. Lin Hui asserted with righteous indignation, leaving Zhou Zhongyi momentarily speechless. Never had he encountered such shamelessness. Before he could respond, Lin Hui took the initiative. Am I not under your command? Yes. Then am I not the soldier you take the most pride in, not just in our regiment, but throughout the entire division? Zhou Zhongyi hesitated, sensing the absurdity of the situation, yet he could not refute it, for Lin Hui was indeed the finest in the division. Lin Hui continued. Did you not tell me to order freely that day, even suggesting that if it were insufficient, you would cover the difference? Zhou Zhongyi erupted in fury. I was merely being courteous when I said you could order freely. You truly took it too far. 200,000. That meal could sustain me for a lifetime. You've consumed my entire food budget in one sitting. Lin Hui quickly attempted to placate him. Commander, please calm down. The meal has long been digested and transformed into nourishment. Moreover, as a high-ranking commander, it would be quite embarrassing to go back on your word. Do you wish for others to mock you? Zhou Zhongyi shouted in exasperation. Let them laugh. I want my money, and I have no shame left. Lin Hui, drenched in spittle, cautiously asked, Commander, do you still wish for our regiment to secure first place in the competition? That's a different matter. No, it is the same matter. Zhou Zhongyi was momentarily flummoxed, struggling to comprehend how it could be the same. Lin Hui, with utmost seriousness, declared, If you insist on forcing me to repay you, I have no issue. I am an upstanding individual, and I would certainly feel remiss to refuse you. Zhou Zhongyi extended his hand, glaring at him. Then go ahead and pay. However, Lin Hui continued, if I were to give you my entire salary each month, I would undoubtedly be distressed. If I am distressed, I will lose motivation to train. If I falter, our regiment will falter, and if our regiment falters, how shall we secure first place afterward? Zhou Zhongyi was left utterly exasperated. Yet, inexplicably, it seemed quite reasonable. The Tiger Brigade is, after all, a secondary unit. In comparison to the primary divisions in the same theater, there exists a significant disparity in equipment, training, and funding. Whether they can achieve a remarkable turnaround and secure greater resources during the military reform hinges entirely on that young fellow. Even if they cannot claim the top position, attaining a commendable rank to gain recognition would suffice. As the commander of the brigade, he regards the troops as his own children, naturally wishing for their continuous improvement. Noticing the silence, Lin Hui chuckled and said, "Commander, let us do it this way. I will train the troops while you can watch with peace of mind. I shall bear the burdens and hardships, and you can enjoy the fruits of success. When accolades are earned, we shall split the credit. Every bonus will go to you. Not a penny for me. How does that sound?" Zhou Zhongyi was so moved he nearly shed tears. "Damn, just give it all to me. That little bonus is hardly enough." Lin Hui retorted, all right, we're brothers here, don't make it awkward." Zhou Zhongyi inhaled deeply, sighing in resignation. Fine. He would take the loss. As long as Lin Hui could bring glory to the brigade and secure more rewards in the future, they could eventually recover their losses. After all, the future of the Tiger Brigade depended on that young man. This matter was settled. But you, young man, must secure a good ranking, understood? Yes. Lin Hui saluted. I assure you I shall accomplish the task. He grinned and inquired, so, does this mean the brigade is now under my command? Zhou Zhongyi had already tacitly agreed in the office. He desired the training himself, but lacked the capability. With a dismissive snort, he replied, "This is only temporary. I am still the commander." Lin Hui laughed. "Of course, the commander will always be our commander. During training, we shall elevate you when you're not around. I'll display your picture in a frame beside us to inspire everyone." Zhou Zhongyi felt a chill run down his spine. How could such a scene be so unsettling? "I'm not dead yet." He waved his hand and retorted, "Enough, you rascal. Go do what you need to do. Talking to you raises my blood pressure." "Then I shall gather the entire brigade," Lin Hui replied. Go on, Zhou Zhongyi urged. Lin Hui chuckled and dashed away. Watching his departing figure, Zhou Zhongyi rubbed his head, filled with exasperation. Why did it feel as if he had suddenly become the mascot? Lin Hui found the duty officer and issued the command. Sound the whistle, assemble the entire brigade. The duty officer nodded, without hesitation, and promptly blew the assembly whistle. In the brigade, they had long grown accustomed to Lin Hui's orders. His commands were nearly tantamount to the commander's, a privilege he enjoyed. As the whistle echoed, everyone swiftly converged from all directions, quickly forming ranks. With his hands clasped behind his back, Lin Hui approached the front of the formation. "The commander has entrusted you to my leadership." No one spoke, as they were already accustomed to it. Lin Hui continued. "The reason for this is that in 4 months, a major competition will be held at the brigade level. Our goal is to claim first place. Do we have confidence?" "Yes." Everyone shouted in unison. Lin Hui smiled. "It's good to have confidence." The crowd chuckled and said, "You have brought us so many honors. And now that you are at military school, you must have learned a great deal of new knowledge that will enable you to train us in a more scientific manner." Lin Hui let out a soft "oh," and with a beaming smile replied, "How do you know I will train you scientifically? I have always been quite scientific." Chapter 251. What an abnormality. What has he learned at military school? Upon hearing Lin Hui's words, everyone immediately became excited and eager to try out the new methods. Scientific training, indeed, would be far more convenient than before. Science is wonderful. I simply adore it. With Lin Hui training us, securing first place in the upcoming competition is surely within our grasp. Observing the carefree expressions of his comrades, Su Da's face reflected a mix of emotions. Wang Yong shook his head with a sigh. Truly, it's a case of healing scars but forgetting the pain. Chen Eru chimed in. Can we really trust what Brother Hui says? It's quite absurd. Should we not take his words with a grain of salt? Some people never learn, Sai? With a cheerful demeanor, Lin Hui proclaimed, from today onwards, our primary focus will be physical training. I aim to elevate the entire team's physical fitness to a higher level in a short span of time. Therefore, in the coming period, I will implement comprehensive training that spans from explosive power to endurance. Everyone immediately began nodding in agreement, whispering amongst themselves, yes, it sounds so scientific. Those who have attended military school truly possess a different level of knowledge. Lin Hui continued, our combat zone is situated in a mountainous forest area. In warfare, we rely not on anything but our own 2 legs. As long as our physical fitness keeps pace, we can traverse any terrain. Here, many large-scale equipment are of little use. At critical moments, even the finest weaponry becomes ineffective. unlike in desert regions where various modern weapons can be deployed to advance effortlessly. Such equipment is utterly useless in mountainous jungles and riverine environments. He spoke with gravity. In the past, when the enemy advanced, we relied on our advantageous terrain to thwart their mechanized equipment. Consider this. Decades ago, when the Sam and the monkey engaged in battle, their modern equipment was several levels superior, yet they ultimately suffered great losses. War, at its core, is a confrontation between people, regardless of how the environment changes. We must maintain abundant stamina to win the fight. The crowd nodded in silence, acknowledging that in their region, human capability indeed surpasses that of equipment. Lin Hui raised 2 fingers and continued. Once our physical training concludes, we will transition into the second phase, focusing on various jungle tactics and camouflage enhancement training. The objective is to be capable of both striking and fleeing. We must outrun the enemy's vehicles, even aircraft, for in this domain, we are the true kings. Do you all have confidence? Yes. Everyone shouted in excitement, eager to commence training. Lin Hui nodded in satisfaction. All right, you all may take a break for now. Gather here in 1 hour to officially begin training. Understood. The team dispersed, all in high spirits as they left. Damn, I can hardly wait to start training. Who isn't? Finally, we have the chance to grow stronger. Just thinking about it makes me a little exhilarated. I wonder what kind of scientific training awaits us. Regardless of the circumstances, it is certain that our strength will be enhanced. If we excel in the competition and achieve merit, might we not also have the opportunity for promotion? The group was lost in their daydreams, unable to extricate themselves. As they wandered off, Su De and a few others hurriedly approached. Wang Yong rubbed his hands together, smiling broadly as he inquired, Hui Go, what mischief are you brewing this time? What exactly is scientific training? Lin Hui replied with a slight smile, don't ask. You will find out shortly. The moment they saw his grin, the 4 felt a chill run down their spines. Although unspoken, they understood it could not bode well. It would be wise to tread carefully. Before long, Lin Hui arrived at the duty room and picked up the telephone on the table to dial a number. The line was quickly connected. Hello, who is this? Came a voice from the other end. Lin Hui cheerfully responded. It's me, Commander Wu, Lin Hui. Commander Wu raised an eyebrow in surprise. Oh, you're back so soon? On leave, I presume? With such an important matter at hand, why didn't old Zhou notify me? We should at least have a banquet in your honor. Lin Hui, lacking the time for idle chatter, got straight to the point. Commander Wu, I need your assistance. Commander Wu chuckled heartily. You are a favored individual in our division. Asking for my help is an honor. What can I do for you? Could you arrange for me a dozen tanks? Lin Hui requested. Commander Wu's jaw dropped in astonishment. Are you joking? Your mechanized infantry regiment already has vehicles. What do you need so many tanks for? Besides, aren't you still in school? Are you planning to drive tanks to blow up the school? Lin Hui smiled innocently. Please don't inquire further. I assure you it will be useful, and I will return them shortly. Commander Wu shook his head vigorously. No way, absolutely not. Our armored regiment has only a limited number of tanks. If I give them to you, what will we train with? Lin Hui's demeanor grew serious. Commander Wu, I am not here to negotiate. Commander Wu's temper flared. Hey, what do you mean by that? Are you trying to overstep your bounds? A mere deputy battalion commander daring to speak to a regiment commander like this. In wartime, you could be apprehended and punished. Lin Hui chuckled. Commander Wu, to speak frankly, the division commander has already granted me special privileges, stating that as long as I have needs, he would go to any lengths to support me. I am here under the commander's orders to request your assistance. If you doubt me, feel free to make a call to confirm. Commander Wu was left momentarily speechless. What did this imply? Was the division commander bestowing such significant authority upon him? Lin Hui, already a prominent figure in the division, was now further esteemed due to his military academy training. Although unsure of how he had returned so suddenly, it was evident to Commander Wu that Lin Hui was indeed speaking the truth. Had it not been for the division commander's delegation of power, Lin Hui would not have dared to be so audacious in seeking tanks from him. With a resigned sigh, Commander Wu relented. All right. Let us not trouble the division commander over such a trivial matter. A mere dozen tanks? I will have them sent to you shortly. Lin Hui responded politely. Thank you very much. An hour later, the assembly whistle sounded, and everyone gathered again on the playground. Just as they stood in formation, the earth began to tremble with a thunderous roar. From the nearby forest, a dozen tanks thundered towards them. How had they acquired the tanks? Were those not the tanks from the 5th Regiment? What is the meaning of this? Wasn't it said that we were to train our physical fitness? Soon, a dozen tanks rolled onto the playground, aligned perfectly in formation, resembling formidable steel beasts. Wang Yong and his companions swallowed hard, their legs trembling incessantly, as they seemed to grasp what was about to unfold. Lin Hui approached with his hands clasped behind his back, a smile gracing his face. Are you all ready? The group responded with palpable excitement. Always prepared. Excellent. Lin Hui proclaimed loudly. From this day forth, we will practice explosive power. The significance of explosive strength need not be elaborated. During rapid assaults in combat, the magnitude of one's explosive power often determines the outcome of a confrontation. Therefore, during this period, each of you must push tanks while running every day. The collective jaws of the group dropped in disbelief, their eyes nearly popping out. What kind of absurdity is this? Pushing a tank is already outrageous enough, and now we must run? Zhang Jiantao shouted anxiously. The Type 59 tank weighs 36 tons. How could we possibly push it with our bare hands? Are you out of your mind? Others echoed his sentiments. This is ridiculous. What kind of training is this? It's utterly impossible. Lin Hui calmly replied. They want TB in gear, so you'll be able to push them. Pushing a tank requires more than mere strength. It's about training your explosive power. Zhang Jiantao was left dumbfounded. Wait, isn't this supposed to be scientific training? Lin Hui nodded earnestly. Indeed, it is scientific. I will calculate your limits, and before you reach your breaking point, I will allow you to stop. It's very scientific. I assure you 1TB in danger. Everyone collectively spat blood in disbelief. This was not scientific training. It was scientific folly. Many began to curse Lin Hui's ancestors in their minds. Lin Hui coldly commanded, "What are you all waiting for? Each unit, pick a tank to push and get moving." Despair engulfed the group. Even if they wished to resist, they found themselves powerless. The commander had delegated authority and remained absent, leaving Lin Hui with the greatest power in the regiment, and they dared not disobey. Several squad leaders rushed to the back of the tanks, hoarsely shouting, "Hurry up! Obey the orders!" With a sense of hopelessness, the soldiers trudged towards the tanks. Some positioned themselves behind, while others spread out on either side. Every soldier placed their hands on the cold metal of the tank, preparing for the task. Lin Hui bellowed, "Begin! Push!" With a collective effort, they gritted their teeth and pushed forward. Yet, the tanks remained immovable, like mountains, unyielding to their exertions. Lin Hui shouted, "Haven't you eaten? Put in some effort." Once more, they strained, their eyes bulging, teeth clenched, exerting every ounce of strength they possessed. Soon, deep footprints surrounded the tank, and sweat poured down their faces as they gasped for breath. Some even collapsed in exhaustion, yet the tank remained as steadfast as ever. Despair settled in. "I can't do it. I can't push it." They had never encountered anything like this before. Human-powered tanks could cost lives with every kilometer. It was utterly impossible to move them. Clearly, they were being toyed with. Lin Hui listened to the complaints and coldly reprimanded. In the past, on the battlefield, our soldiers could even overturn tanks. Though they were not as heavy as those now, such spirit is worthy of emulation by all, especially with so many of you here. What the predecessors could accomplish, so too can you. Someone, with a mournful expression, lamented, "Deputy Camp Leader Lin, we truly cannot move it. We are exhausted." It was not a lack of effort, but rather the sheer weight of the task that was overwhelming. Lin Hui snorted disdainfully. "Look at your sorry state. If you cannot even push a tank, what is the point of training for explosive power? If you cannot do it, then train your endurance. Everyone, get down for 1,000 push-ups." All breathed heavily, resigned to the ground. Many found their limbs weak, unable to rise again. Lin Hui coldly smiled, instructing a nearby person. "Scatter thumbtacks underneath everyone. Those who wish to slack off can lie there. Remember, especially sprinkle more above the knees and below the navel." The group was terrified, feeling as if they were on the brink of despair. What was promised as endurance training had turned into a perilous ordeal. Zhang Jiantao, with a face full of despair, thought, "What on earth did this guy learn at the military academy? He has become even more ruthless than before." Chapter 252, just a slight increase in difficulty. Why are you crying? On the playground, armored beasts advanced swiftly. Behind the tanks, a dozen bodies, inclined at a 45-degree angle, were straining to push. Everyone gritted their teeth, sweat dripping to the ground, summoning every ounce of strength. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. The squad leader shouted the mantra. With each call, all the strength was directed into their right legs, forcefully driving against the ground to propel forward. The movements synchronized perfectly, all power concentrated at a single point. On one tank, a tank soldier chuckled, clapping his hands. "Faster, come on. You're dawdling. Have you not eaten? Shut your mouth." The men behind cursed. "You're comfortable while we toil to the bone. It would be a mercy not to beat you, and yet you dare mock us?" The tank soldier replied cheerfully, "Apologies. But I've only ever seen diesel-powered tanks. I've never witnessed human-powered ones. I'm a bit too excited. Brothers, please bear with me, huh?" The group seethed. "Damn it. I really want to drag that guy down and give him a beating." The squad leader, panting and drenched in sweat, interjected, "Stop the chatter. Conserve your energy. We have another lap to go. Push on." All were on the verge of tears. For the first time, they felt how far a lap truly was. However, there was no alternative. Lin Hui had issued a stern order. Without completing 2 laps, none could rest. So they kept their heads down and pushed forward. Nearby, by the flag platform, Zhou Zhongyi stood with his hands behind his back, observing the field with Lin Hui. He nodded with a smile. You're quite impressive, aren't you? In just half a month, you've managed to get them pushing tanks at a brisk pace. Lin Hui casually remarked, everyone possesses potential. With the right approach and a bit of pressure, we can bring that potential to the surface. Zhou Zhongyi smiled, though his eyes held a hint of skepticism. In the past fortnight, the training has consisted of either practicing breath-holding while submerged or pushing tanks and sprinting with armored vehicles. Is this what you call appropriate pressure? It is evidently driving individuals to their limits. How can one not unleash their potential under such circumstances? Nonetheless, the results of this rigorous training are undeniably remarkable. After serving in the military for so long, he had never witnessed an individual's strength capable of propelling a tank forward. Suddenly, Zhou Zhongyi remembered something and inquired, by the way, what kind of traditional Chinese medicine do you provide them daily? Lin Hui chuckled and replied, during my time at military university, I delved into some texts on traditional Chinese medicine during my leisure hours, discovering formulas that can bolster vitality, enhance kidney function, and nourish both yin and yang. In simpler terms, it helps replenish the energy drained when one feels utterly exhausted and weak. Zhou Zhongyi's eyes sparkled with intrigue. Is there really such a wondrous remedy? Lin Hui, concerned about any misconceptions, quickly clarified, do not misunderstand. This primarily serves as an auxiliary aid, assisting in the restoration of some vitality. The core relies on proper nutrition and dietary balance. The medicine merely offers support. Do not place excessive faith in it. Consider it akin to a health supplement. Zhou Zhongyi wore a broad smile, observing, I saw them utterly exhausted from training yesterday, yet they managed to rise again today. This certainly indicates the medicine has some merit. After all, it is a cultural treasure passed down by our ancestors, refined over thousands of years. Its efficacy is assured. Do you still have that medicine? I would like some. Lin Hui felt a pang of alarm. This is not a remedy for vitality. Zhou Zhongyi, with a fierce glare, retorted, nonsense. Your commander is robust and vibrant. Do I truly need such a tonic? I seek to honor my superior, who is in need of it. While asserting this, he puffed out his chest, striking a pose that exuded strength. Lin Hui's lips twitched in exasperation. He had long observed that the commander often suffered from night sweats, had a yellowish tongue, and pronounced bags under his eyes. It was clear that the medicine would be for the commander himself, cleverly disguised as a gift for his superior. Of course, the commander was not in much better shape himself. They were both in similar predicaments. Commander, this medicine is precious, Lin Hui cautioned. Moreover, if one's health is not severely compromised, there is no need for it, as it might even produce adverse effects. Zhou Zhongyi grew agitated. Who says I am not compromised? Who claims the commander is not? He certainly appears to be in a depleted state. At that moment, in the office of the staff headquarters, Lu Qingsong, engrossed in paperwork, suddenly sneezed heavily. Who is speaking ill of me? Zhou Zhongyi, with a fierce glare, pressed, just say whether you will provide it or not. If not, I assure you, I will not let you leave. Lin Hui, thoroughly exasperated, conceded, fine. I will bring you some shortly. Zhou Zhongyi, joyfully embracing his shoulders, nearly leaped with delight. Ha. Excellent. If the results are favorable, I shall also procure some for the commander. Lin Hui's lips twitched again. The truth is out. You're clearly planning to consume it yourself. Soon, the tanks began arriving at the finish line one by one. Everyone, drenched in sweat, collapsed onto the ground, resembling individuals just pulled from the depths of a river. Several soldiers, tongues lolling like dogs, gasped for breath, exclaiming, I can't go on. I truly cannot endure this. I feel as though I am about to perish from exhaustion. At that moment, Lin Hui and Zhou Zhongyi approached with smiles that sent shivers down everyone's spine, causing all to rise in alarm as if electrified. Although their bodies swayed unsteadily, their legs shook uncontrollably, and their arms felt as though they would snap. They were undeniably in a better condition than at the outset. After all, they had previously struggled to even stand, yet now possessed the strength to do so. The squad leaders shouted hoarsely, reporting in. We have completed the task. Please provide instructions. Lin Hui nodded in satisfaction, acknowledging their hard training during this period. I'm prepared to grant you a well-deserved rest. Instantly, everyone erupted with excitement, a blend of joy and gratitude filling the air. Did we hear correctly? We can rest. They are actually allowing us to rest. Oh heavens, the Almighty has finally opened his eyes. Wang Yong was on the verge of tears, exclaiming, Brother Hui, you have finally permitted us to rest. We have lived to see this day. Chun Eru, overwhelmed with joy, declared, Brother Hui, you are like a father to me. Nay, my own father has never treated me so well. You are a living bodhisattva? After a moment of jubilant celebration, Lin Hui chuckled and remarked, it's merely a 2-hour break. No need for such profound gratitude. The smiles of the crowd faded abruptly. After all that, just a 2-hour respite? Well, 2 hours were still a break. Lin Hui continued, After 2 hours, I will take you to another location to push tanks uphill, slightly increasing the difficulty. Collectively, everyone gasped in shock. This was utterly merciless. Wang Yong nearly fell to his knees, pleading, Brother Hui, pushing on level ground is already excruciating. Now you want us to push tanks uphill? If you are seeking my life, just say so, and I shall give it. Suda's lips twitched uncontrollably. Is this an increase in difficulty? It is clearly an astronomical jump. Chapter 253. The future of 602 rests upon you soon. Tanks lined up at the base of a slope. The incline was modest, approximately 30 degrees, allowing the T-59 tanks to ascend with ease. However, pushing the tanks up was significantly more challenging than on flat terrain. A moment's lapse in strength could result in being crushed by the sliding tanks. The expressions of those standing behind the tanks grew grim, their lips pale, and their calves trembled uncontrollably. Pushing on level ground was already torturous. Now, they were to push uphill? Good heavens, what on earth had Lin Hui learned at military school? Was he intent on driving them to their demise? As Lin Hui approached, Suda quickly pleaded, Lin Hui, this is far too extreme. Someone might get hurt. Let us stick to pushing on flat ground. We can always add another half lap. The others nodded fervently in agreement. They would rather exhaust themselves than risk being crushed by a stalled tank. Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively, smiling as he reassured them. Rest easy, I have calculated this scientifically. As long as you do not slack off or cut corners, and work together, you will certainly be able to push the tank up. In their hearts, everyone cursed, to hell with your science. This is pseudoscience. Wang Yong, with a pitiful expression, implored. Brother Hui, we have been training for half a month without a single day off. Can't we have a brief rest before pushing again? Others nodded fervently, like chicks pecking at grains, exclaiming in agreement. Indeed, our bodies are unable to endure this. We are truly exhausted, unable to push any further. Lin Hui shook his head and replied earnestly. Scientific research indicates that your muscles are currently in their most vigorous state. Allowing you to rest would lead to muscle soreness. And in severe cases, even muscle dissolution, which would be counterproductive. Therefore, one must muster the collective strength to forge ahead, as this will enhance your muscle impact and explosive power. Enough with the science. Please refrain from uttering the word science again. It's driving everyone to the brink. Observing the despair on their faces, Lin Hui offered a reassuring smile. Relax, everyone. After half a month of training, I am well aware of your current capabilities. From barely being able to push to now being able to maneuver a tank around the track twice, it is evident that you have made significant progress. This task is trivial for you. Of course, should anything go awry, we still have slots for casualties. And I shall personally ensure that your ashes are returned home to honor your families. Zhou Zhongyi nearly choked on his own blood. Are you here to comfort them or to frighten them? Lin Hui clapped his hands and proclaimed loudly. Enough of the chatter. Let us push, or we shall face collective punishment. With a collective sigh, everyone trudged toward the tank. The tank crew, grinning from ear to ear, reassured them. Fear not, with us here. You will be safe. We shall always be ready to hit the brakes. The crowd shouted in a frenzy. Don't you dare hit the brakes. How can we push then? All right. No brakes, understood. Everyone took their positions, and the rallying cries echoed once more. The tank, as heavy as a mountain, was soon in motion, propelled by their united effort. Lin Hui, with a blade of grass between his teeth, observed with a subtle smile. Now this is how it should be. Pressure fuels motivation. This is how one progresses swiftly. At the Southwest Theater Command, Su Qianshan strode confidently, leading his team to push open the conference room door. Upon entering, all the prominent figures stood to salute. Greetings, Commander. Su Qianshan nodded. Take your seats. We are convening a meeting. He looked around at everyone, his demeanor serious. As you all know, the military reform has achieved significant results. However, we still lack a formidable unit to showcase. Compared to the outstanding forces of other theaters, even our elite troops fall short. Last year, during the inter-theater competition, we returned empty-handed, finishing at the bottom. There was a considerable gap in scores with the second-to-last place. As the commanding officer, each of us, including myself, bears responsibility. The faces of everyone present turned ashen, resembling wax. Last year's competition saw them dispatch elite troops, yet they suffered greatly due to the terrain. After all, most of their training occurred in mountainous and jungle regions. Engaging in large-scale combat with other theaters, they naturally faltered in direct confrontation. Although they lost, the blame cannot rest solely on them. The environmental factors played a significant role. If we were to summon those individuals to the southwest for battle, they would undoubtedly leave the opposition in disarray. Su Qianshan, observing their frustrated and indignant expressions, spoke coldly. I am aware of your thoughts. Yet such sentiments do not constitute justification. Should the enemy advance upon us, necessitating our presence at the front lines, do we believe we can dictate terms to them? Insisting they engage in familiar terrain? He stated with gravity. Reflect upon the past. During our engagements in Xiaoxi 8, when 2 entire armies were called upon from our ranks, each comprised of valiant heroes. Even when faced with aircraft and artillery, not a single complaint was uttered. They fought valiantly, forcing the Western adversaries to retreat in disarray. Why then, is it deemed impossible for us now? Is it truly a matter of our own inadequacy, tarnishing the legacy of our predecessors, or have we simply grown complacent in our prolonged peace, rendering our bodies and minds rigid, forgetting the essence of our purpose? The expressions of the crowd darkened further. Many present were high-ranking officials, all hailing from esteemed military backgrounds. They were acutely aware of the historical legacy of their old units. Yet, it was precisely their prolonged comfort and the lack of real combat experience, coupled with the gradual attrition of seasoned veterans, outdated tactical thinking, and severely aging equipment, that had led to a decline in overall combat efficacy. Ultimately, however, it remained their own failing, a disservice to the revered elders. Su Qianshan banged the table, asserting sternly, "This is a mobilization meeting, and there are still over 3 months until the grand competition. Upon your return, motivate your respective units and intensify training. Should we secure commendable standings, the theater will spare no effort in rewarding and promoting exceptional talent. Regardless of the regiment, as long as they exhibit prowess and combat capability, we shall provide whatever is requested." Emphasizing further, additionally, disseminate the message that those who perform admirably may also receive exceptional promotions, should they possess the requisite ability. I shall advocate for their advancement beyond standard regulations. Yes, the room was filled with fervor, eager for the chance to prove themselves. In the corner, Lu Qingsong's eyes sparkled with barely contained excitement. He clenched his fists, overwhelmed with emotion. This upcoming grand competition across the entire theater is the moment for 602 to stage a remarkable comeback. Whether they can ascend from a secondary unit to a frontline position, or secure greater resources and promotion opportunities, hinges on this event. Lu Qingsong's heart raced, envisioning Lin Hui. You must strive with all your might this time. The future of 602 rests upon your shoulders. Chapter 254. Do you desire to occupy the position of commander? Lu Qingsong hurried back to the division headquarters. As the vehicle came to a halt, the duty officer approached to open the door. "Good day, Commander. Is everyone present?" "They are all here." Lu Qingsong nodded, making his way directly to the conference room. Upon entering, all brigade commanders immediately stood to salute. "Good day, Commander." Lu Qingsong acknowledged them with a nod. "Please be seated." He scanned the room, his brow slightly furrowing. "Where's Lin Hui?" The others exchanged glances, feeling a twinge of discomfort. Those present were either brigade commanders or battalion leaders, while Lin Hui, a mere deputy battalion commander, had no standing to attend such a high-level meeting. The commander unexpectedly called out to him, inquiring about his absence, leaving them somewhat embarrassed. Zhou Zhongyi immediately stood up to report, "Commander, Lin Hui is leading our regiment in training. We are dividing our responsibilities. He handles the training while I take care of internal matters." Lu Qingsong nodded approvingly. "Very well. After the meeting, ensure you convey the directives to him." Zhou Zhongyi felt a pang of frustration, thinking to himself, "Am I a dignified regimental commander or merely a messenger?" Lu Qingsong, upon sitting down, recounted the contents of the headquarters meeting with a serious tone, stating, "The message from above is quite clear. Those with capability, those who can effectively manage their troops, will receive what they deserve, including promotion opportunities, military funding, and weaponry. None shall be lacking, and they will also be prioritized for cultivation in the war zone." The regimental commanders present were filled with excitement. At last, an opportunity to achieve merit had arrived. Lu Qingsong scoffed dismissively, saying, "What are you all so happy about? What concern is it of yours? With your regiment's level, I have no expectations whatsoever." The flicker of hope that had ignited among the commanders was instantly doused with a bucket of cold water, leaving them feeling disheartened. Lu Qingsong turned to Zhou Zhongyi, encouragingly stating, "Zhou Zhongyi, this competition relies entirely on the Tiger Regiment. You must ensure we uphold our honor." Zhou Zhongyi, with a smile and a puffed chest, replied, "Rest assured, Commander. With that Lin Hui fellow around, we will certainly secure a ranking." Lu Qingsong nodded and addressed the others. "Though I do not have high hopes for you, I must still emphasize this. Our regiment has earned much merit, largely thanks to others' efforts. You should learn more from them. Each of you should check yourselves. Are you truly worthy? Why should they excel while you do not?" In the next moment, Zhou Zhongyi felt a chill run down his spine as the entire meeting room glared at him, their expressions seething with frustration. In the military, there is no soldier who does not strive for excellence. It was one thing for the commander to reprimand them publicly, but it was another to praise the Tiger Regiment. Though they acknowledged their inferiority, their pride would not allow them to accept it quietly. They were indignant. Zhou Zhongyi's scalp tingled with anxiety as he thought, "Oh no. Do not look at me. I have nothing to do with this. I am merely riding on their coattails. If you wish to glare. Directed at that Lin Hui fellow. Lu Qingsong, maintaining a stern demeanor, declared. Securing a ranking in this competition will not only earn recognition and rewards from the war zone, but also preferential treatment from our division. Even if it means sacrificing comfort. I will ensure focused cultivation. Do you understand? Yes. The room erupted as everyone stood, their eyes ablaze with determination. This was not solely about promotion. It was a quest for the honor of a soldier. They were prepared to give their all. Meanwhile, Lin Hui sat on a slope, legs crossed, gazing into the distance towards a hillside. Before him, a group of individuals stood in front of a tank, gradually maneuvering it downhill. Before long, they were utterly exhausted from the exertion. As the old saying goes, it is easy to go uphill, but difficult to descend. When ascending, brute strength can propel one upward in a single effort. However, descending requires careful strategy. One must brace against the tank, ensuring it does not descend due to inertia. The descent must be gradual, releasing pressure little by little to allow the tank to move down safely. The difficulty naturally escalated exponentially, thoroughly exercising every toe of theirs. Of course, Lin Hui's primary objective in this training was to teach them how to better stabilize and control their strength. Observing them gradually maneuvering down with the tank, Lin Hui nodded in satisfaction, thinking to himself, these fellows are increasingly resembling competent soldiers. At that moment, a messenger hurried over to report. The commander has returned and requests your presence. Understood. After giving a brief acknowledgement, Lin Hui drove alone to the regiment headquarters. As soon as he entered the office, Zhou Zhongyi greeted him with a hearty laugh. Kid, your opportunity has arrived. Lin Hui, bewildered, asked, what opportunity? Zhou Zhongyi, grinning, inquired, aren't you eager to take my position? I must ask you, do you wish to sit upon the commander's throne? Lin Hui chuckled and nodded vigorously. I've long desired it. Good. Zhou Zhongyi clapped him on the arm. Having such aspirations is commendable. As the saying goes, he who does not wish to be a regiment commander is not a good deputy. I admire your ambition. Lin Hui laughed awkwardly. You truly are a genius. He then asked earnestly, Commander, are you suffering from some terminal illness? Nonsense. Zhou Zhongyi jumped up in indignation. My health is perfectly fine. Lin Hui looked astonished. Then why are you so eager to step down? I know my capabilities are exceptional. I am a talent worth nurturing. Both you and the division commander have faith in me, but isn't it a bit premature? He continued, when do you plan to leave? Shall I prepare a banquet for you? Zhou Zhongyi chuckled. Are you that impatient? It will be soon. The higher-ups have issued directives in this upcoming grand competition. As long as we achieve excellent results, all rules can be bent. We can demand whatever is necessary, and military commanders can be promoted. Just help me ascend to the position of brigade commander or deputy brigade commander, and the commander's throne will naturally be yours. Lin Hui felt a twitch at the corner of his eye. Indeed, experience bested youthful cunning. Nevertheless, he personally looked forward to becoming the commander. Only by attaining that rank could he truly embark on his career within the military, gaining the qualifications for greater opportunities. At that time, he would rise swiftly, earning the admiration of his elder brothers and father. Yes, Lin Hui saluted. Commander, we have completed the first phase of training. Tomorrow, I plan to take them on a journey, likely for about a month. Zhou Zhongyi inquired curiously. Off to the jungle again? Lin Hui smiled this time. We shall change locations. Zhou Zhongyi laughed heartily. Sounds good. After all, I've entrusted the regiment to you. Feel free to exercise your discretion. Should I accompany you? Lin Hui grinned mischievously. We are all part of the same regiment. As the commander and backbone, it would be quite inappropriate for you not to join. Let's go together. It will also serve as an opportunity for mutual training. Seeing Lin Hui's smile, Zhou Zhongyi suddenly felt a twinge of discomfort. Why did it seem unnecessary to have said that? The next morning, the urgent assembly alarm sounded throughout the barracks. Everyone swiftly packed their belongings. Rushing from all directions to gather, Lin Hui stepped before the crowd, smiling warmly. Everyone, do not be anxious. The first phase of training has concluded. Excitement surged through the ranks. Oh my, finally no more pushing tanks. This contraption is exceedingly heavy. Only those who have experienced it can truly comprehend. Nevertheless, over these past few days, their body fat has significantly diminished, yet their muscles have burgeoned impressively. Particularly, their trapezius and biceps have become remarkably developed, to the point where their necks are nearly unrecognizable. If this continues, what will become of us? We shall all transform into devilishly muscular beings. Lin Hui chuckled with delight, saying, Next, I intend to let everyone unwind and enjoy some well-deserved rest, indulging in a pleasant life. Most importantly, you will have the opportunity to meet many young ladies. Tears of excitement streamed down everyone's faces. Is it true? Really? They exclaimed. Hee, it doesn't matter about relaxing. Just being able to meet the young ladies is enough. Brother Hui, you are simply too good to us. We adore you. Lin Hui grinned mischievously. You are all my brothers, my closest comrades. I have always treated you the best. Chapter 255. Did I dig up your ancestors' grave in my past life? The following morning, 50 kilometers from the base. At the entrance of a village committee, over 100 elderly women, dressed modestly with weathered faces, gathered together, smiling broadly. Not far away, on the threshing floor, everyone from the Tiger Squad gasped in shock, their scalps tingling. Is this truly a gathering of young ladies? They appear older than my own mother. Look at that old woman. She has barely 2 front teeth left. At such an advanced age, she still wears 2 braided pigtails, adorned with a red scarf. What exquisite taste. Everyone turned their fierce gazes toward Lin Hui, their eyes filled with indignation, as if they wished to take revenge. We've been deceived again. Is there no trust left among people? Lin Hui had just conferred with the village head, and then turned to engage with the group of elderly women, quickly eliciting laughter from them. Ladies, do you remember everything I just mentioned? He asked. Of course, we have excellent memories. They replied with mirth. Hee, that's splendid. Lin Hui then approached the Tiger Squad members, smiling broadly as he declared, I have wonderful news to share with everyone. The expressions of the crowd were filled with fury. You have no good news to impart. Lin Hui continued with a grin, after my discussions. These lovely ladies have graciously agreed to take you back with them. The elderly women all turned to them, smiling mischievously. In an instant, everyone tensed, clenching their legs tightly. This is it. Our dignity is about to be irreparably tarnished. Suda, with a look of terror, asked, Lin Hui, what exactly are you planning to do with us? Surely you are not intending to sell us. While our team does have many unmarried young men, you cannot treat us so disgracefully. Wang Yong immediately nodded in agreement. Brother Hui, the bond between the military and the civilians is commendable, and we are willing to sacrifice for the common folk. But look at their age. Can they endure the company of such robust youths like us? Others nodded fervently. Our heads may be severed, blood may be shed, but our chastity shall remain intact. Lin Hui's eyes widened in disbelief. What nonsense are you spouting? Your thoughts are utterly filthy and depraved. Henceforth, I shall have these young ladies assist you in cleansing your minds. The scene erupted into chaos, with everyone in a state of exasperation. Let us refrain from discussing young ladies, shall we? You seem to have quite the misunderstanding regarding age. Have you ever encountered a young lady with but a single tooth? Have you ever seen a young maiden leaning on a cane? Deceivers, you are nothing but frauds. Lin Hui, with utmost sincerity, declared, I assure you. I am not deceiving you. They were once vibrant young women, simply having undergone the trials of time, maturing just a tad. Uffed. The crowd collectively spat blood. A tad matured? They have matured far beyond that. Suda's lips twitched uncontrollably, sensing mischief. What exactly do you want us to do? Lin Hui chuckled. These young ladies are renowned figures in the neighboring villages, the most eloquent among them. The villagers here reside in the mountains, with little means of livelihood. Every household engages in tofu making. Everyone's eyes widened in astonishment. So, they are indeed the tofu goddesses. No, rather, the elder tofu goddesses. Lin Hui continued with a smile. However, as you all can see, they have aged, and their work is not as nimble. Hence, I called you here to assist them with their tasks. It's a bond between soldiers and civilians. You lend a hand, and in turn, you can take a breather. The crowd began to whisper amongst themselves, though it was far from what they had anticipated. Yet, as long as they weren't tasked with moving tanks, anything else would suffice. Moreover, it wasn't their first time aiding the common folk, washing clothes, chopping wood, fetching water, all tasks they were familiar with, requiring little effort while providing an opportunity to rest and slack off. Seeing their cheerful expressions, Lin Hui grinned. Is that agreeable to everyone? If so, I'll have the matron come to gather you. The matron approached, her face beaming, ready to select individuals. You two, come with me. You, and you. You are all mine now. One matron approached Wang Yong and Chen Eru, eyeing them with a cheerful demeanor. Come, spin around for me. The two exchanged nervous glances, feeling both anxious and bashful. Nevertheless, they complied, turning about. Smack. The matron playfully slapped their backsides. Oh dear, such firm little backsides. Off we go. You two belong to me now. Startled, they followed her as though they were young ladies at a social gathering. One by one, others were similarly led away by the matrons, until the threshing floor was deserted. Zhou Zhongyi sidled up to Lin Hui, his expression laced with suspicion. What on earth are you up to? Aren't we supposed to be training? How could you let them rest? Lin Hui chuckled. Colonel, do I seem like a good person to you? Zhou Zhongyi huffed. Who said you were a good person? I'd be the first to confront you. Lin Hui smirked mischievously. Well, doesn't that suffice? How could I possibly do good? Zhou Zhongyi paused, then broke into a knowing grin. Only you could pull this off. Come on, let me see what mischief you're brewing. 20 minutes later, the matron led Wang Yong and Chen Eru to a household. Elder sister, brother Wang. Come out quickly. Soon, an elderly man and woman emerged from the house. Guayingzi, what is it? The matron greeted them with a smile. Have you eaten? Having just finished the meal, I was about to wash the dishes when I decided to set them aside for the moment. The elderly woman gestured towards the two individuals nearby, introducing them. These gentlemen are comrades of the People's Liberation Army, here to assist you with your chores and alleviate your daily hardships. Whatever tasks you have at home, please entrust them to these two. Wang Yong and Chun Eru promptly nodded in agreement, saying, yes, we're here to help. Whatever needs doing, just leave it to us. The elderly couple was momentarily taken aback and quickly waved their hands, insisting, no, it's quite all right. We have just a few small tasks to manage ourselves. Upon hearing this, the two men felt a surge of delight. Small tasks were their favorite. Once completed, they could indulge in a well-deserved break, which sounded utterly delightful. However, the elderly woman adopted a stern expression and insisted, no, you must agree. They have a mission to fulfill, and if you refuse, they will have to return and face criticism and punishment. The two men feigned a look of grievance, saying, indeed, our superiors can be quite unreasonable. Just allow us to stay. We can handle anything. Whatever dirty or arduous work you have, just call on us. If we complain of hardship, we are not true soldiers of the people. The old man, feeling somewhat embarrassed, turned to the elderly woman who had brought them. But I don't even know what to assign them. We don't have many chores, and my wife and I can manage quite well on our own. With a warm smile, the elderly woman replied, I've already thought of something for you. Let your large livestock rest for a while. They will assist in grinding the beans. She turned to Wang Yong and Chun Eru. You two must grind for at least 12 hours each day. Otherwise, you shall not be permitted to stop. The two men were left utterly bewildered, and Chun Eru stammered, Wait. Aren't we here to work for the villagers? How did it turn into a task for livestock? The elderly woman chuckled. This was specifically instructed by your commander. He said it is to train your endurance. Furthermore, if you have any complaints, I am to relay them to him, and he will address you directly. The two men nearly choked in disbelief. Brother Hui, are you even human? How could you conceive of such a scheme? The elderly couple appeared somewhat embarrassed. Galingzi, this seems inappropriate, having the soldiers do the work of livestock. This doesn't seem right. The elderly woman declared with conviction, what is inappropriate about it? The commander has decreed that they grind the beans. It is for their training, so they may fight better and protect the nation more effectively. We are doing this for their benefit. The old man immediately brightened. Oh, I see. In that case, we must assist. He called out to his wife. Dear, please bring out the large livestock and let them rest. Before long, 2 donkeys were led from the barn. They removed the burdens from the donkeys and harnessed them to Wang Yong and Shin Eru instead. Surprisingly, the fit was quite suitable. The elderly woman looked at them and continued, Your commander has instructed that you simply follow the grinding process. Each person must ensure that they grind a total of 2,000 pounds of beans each day. If you do not finish, you shall neither eat nor sleep, as you must be thoroughly trained. The two men nearly collapsed to the floor. 2,000 pounds. This would surely exhaust them. With tears of despair threatening to spill, they lamented their fate, thinking that without a lovely maiden to accompany them, they were now relegated to the role of beasts of burden. This is unacceptable. They can still eat and rest, yet they are treated worse than livestock. The old lady turned to the elderly couple and remarked, Their leader has instructed that we should not provide them with solid food. Merely some thin gruel will suffice. After grinding the beans, they still have to fetch water and chop firewood, barely managing 4 hours of sleep each night. You must keep an eye on the time. Do not allow them to oversleep. If they do, use a stick to strike their backsides, as per their leader's explicit orders. It's all for their training. Understood. The elderly couple replied, their faces beaming with delight. Is this not more cost-effective than raising livestock? Wang Yong and Chun Eru fell to the ground with a thud, exclaiming, Hui Gu, did we dig up your ancestors' graves in our past lives? Must you treat us this way? Chapter 256. Even livestock live better than us inside the mill. 2 stone grinders were whirring away. The milky white bean dregs flowed down the stone trough into the large buckets below. Several buckets were already lined up nearby. Wang Yong and Chun Eru had taken over the work of 2 donkeys, sweating profusely as they pushed the mill, their faces devoid of hope. What kind of situation is this? Wang Yong, drenched in sweat, lamented, We clearly came to see the young maidens, and now we find ourselves as beasts of burden. Chun Eru, with a mournful expression, added, Hui Gu has deceived us terribly. From now on, I won't trust a single word he says. They continued grinding tirelessly. Hour after hour. 2 more hours slipped by, and they were exhausted, tongues lolling, heads spinning, gasping for breath. Just then, an old man entered with a water jug. Expressing sympathy, You've worked hard. Come, have some water and rest a moment. Yu Haven tea stopped from morning till afternoon. Wang Yong, his lips pale, shook his head. It's no trouble at all. We're working for the common folk, and we don't find it hard. Chun Era nodded in agreement. Yes, yes, we both enjoy grinding the mill. It feels uncomfortable not to do so for even a day. It wasn't that they didn't desire a break. They were simply too afraid to pause. Who knew how Lin Hui, that cunning man, would punish them if he caught them resting? The old man poured 2 bowls of water, chuckling wryly. No one is inherently fond of hardship. Just drink some water. It won't hinder your work. Your leader, even if he intends to train you, shouldn't be so unreasonable. A person is not made of iron. How can one endure without food or rest without collapsing? The 2 men silently agreed, feeling a wave of emotion wash over them. They had finally heard a voice of reason. The old man suggested, how about this? You take a brief break, drink some water, and eat something. I will keep watch outside, ensuring your leader remains unaware. That way, you will be fine. Wang Yong's eyes brightened. But isn't that inappropriate? Chen Eru looked at him. I think it's quite good. Quite good. Indeed. Chen Eru nodded. In name, we rest, but in reality, we conserve our energy to work better. Don't you agree, fellow villager? The old man laughed heartily. Yes, yes, that makes sense. Wang Yong, with utmost seriousness, replied. However, elder, you must keep this confidential. If that perverse leader learns of it, we will be doomed. The old man nodded reassuringly. Rest assured, my lips are famously sealed. I shall bring you some food shortly. Eat and take a brief respite. We shall speak of nothing, and no one will be the wiser. Wang Yong and Chen Eru exchanged glances, their eyes glimmering with delight. At last, they could afford themselves a moment of rest. Before long, the elderly couple delivered several steamed buns and a small dish of pickled vegetables. Upon seeing the food, the 2 hastily set aside their tools and began to devour their meal ravenously. After satisfying their hunger, they patted their bellies and leaned back in a corner, indulging in a brief nap. In the early hours of the morning, the village lay shrouded in silence, the sky as dark as an overturned cauldron. Suddenly, a rustling noise pierced the stillness of the courtyard. Startled, the old woman scrambled out of bed and turned on the light. Old man, do you hear that noise? The old man sat up, sensing something amiss. Oh no, could it be that we have been robbed? He hastily donned his clothes and grabbed a pair of fire tongs. Together with his partner, they cautiously made their way toward the yard. As they drew closer, the noise grew louder. Upon reaching the mill, the old man kicked the door open only to be taken aback by the sight before him. There stood Wang Yong and Chen Eru, gritting their teeth as they frantically turned the millstone, their speed rivaling that of a machine. A figure stood nearby, seemingly supervising their efforts. What on earth are you doing? The old man exclaimed in bewilderment. It's the middle of the night. Why aren't you resting? Wang Yong, upon seeing him, burst into tears. Grandfather, please, do not bring us any more food or drink. We do not deserve it. Chen Eru, with tears in his eyes, chimed in, indeed. We are fervently devoted to our work and wish for no rest. The supervisor standing nearby reprimanded them. Enough chatter. Make haste. Deputy Camp Leader Lin has instructed that if you do not complete the task, you shall not eat or rest tomorrow. Hurry. The 2, terrified, quickened their pace, feeling as if they were on the brink of collapse. They had barely managed to sleep for a short while in the afternoon before being caught by Lin Hui, and they had faced severe punishment. Had they known it would come to this, they would have rather perished from thirst or exhaustion than slack off. The elderly couple watched from the sidelines, shaking their heads in dismay. How unfortunate. You best hurry. We shall return to our slumber. And remember to keep the noise down. Us old folks do not sleep well. The 2 nearly choked on their frustration, wishing they would not add salt to their wounds. The following morning, Lin Hui, accompanied by several officers from the regiment, roamed about, conducting surprise inspections to ensure no one was shirking their duties. The vehicle came to a halt at the village entrance, and everyone disembarked on foot, intent on avoiding detection. Should anyone be caught slacking, they would face immediate and severe penalties. Terrified, the group dared not relax even for a moment. Even their bathroom breaks were executed in shifts, swiftly resolved before they dashed back, fearful of being accused of laziness and suffering harsh punishment. As evening descended, Zhou Zhongyi and Lin Hui squatted on the plaza, sipping kanji and nibbling on pancakes. Furrowing his brow in curiosity, Zhou questioned, I truly do not understand why you have them labor day and night for the villagers. What is the purpose of it all? Lin Hui took a sip of porridge and remarked, not long ago, we trained them with tanks to enhance their explosive power. Now, we focus on endurance training. Zhou Zhongyi was baffled by this statement. Lin Hui, with a knowing smile, nodded and elaborated. In our current situation, lacking superior weaponry and situated in mountainous terrain, we must rapidly elevate the foundational skills of each soldier to overcome our adversaries. Solely relying on physical training can only strengthen specific parts of the body, without enhancing overall capability. However, subjecting them to labor under deprivation transforms the training into a scientific regimen that fosters not only resilience, but also fortitude. He chuckled. Consider this. In a jungle warfare scenario, If our troops can endure for 20 to even 24 hours under similar conditions, while the enemy falters after a mere 10 hours, who do you think will emerge victorious? Zhou Zhongyi was taken aback, exclaiming, "Goodness, you're truly cunning. To inflict 1,000 losses on the enemy while suffering 800 yourself. What a devious strategy." Lin Hui shook his head. "This is no mere trick. It is the wisdom of our ancestors. During our battles in the snowy regions against those Western foes, our forebears endured on snow and fried noodles, ultimately driving away the well-equipped enemy. I aim to instill that same spirit in them, to forge their wills into iron." Zhou Zhongyi was left speechless, thinking that one shouldn't treat people like beasts of burden. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Lin Hui gathered everyone at the threshing ground. As he surveyed the group, it was evident that they had become significantly more robust. All excess fat had vanished, and while their physiques appeared somewhat gaunt, their stamina had ascended to new heights. Presently, they could effortlessly carry a donkey and run a marathon. With hands clasped behind his back, Lin Hui smiled and said, "These past 2 weeks have surely been enjoyable. I trust you've rested well?" The collective glare from everyone was fiery, as if they wished to rend him asunder. Rising before dawn and retiring after dusk, they had suffered more than any slave. Where was the enjoyment in that? Lin Hui, still smiling, responded, "It seems you've adapted quite well. How about this? The previous 12-hour tasks will now be condensed to 8 hours. The extra time will be allocated for further scientific training. What do you think?" The group collectively erupted. "Scientific training? You might as well kill us. Lin Gu, spare us. Do not torment us further. Your methods are more painful than a dull knife slicing flesh." Lin Hui coldly retorted, "Enough of your complaints. I ask you one thing. Do you wish to claim victory in the all-region competition?" The crowd, drained yet resolute, replied, "Of course we do." Lin Hui continued, "Do you desire to bring glory to the Tiger Brigade, to earn greater honor, and elevate our unit to a key focus for cultivation, securing more resources, funding, and equipment?" The resounding answer was yes. Lin Hui, filled with fervor, declared, "The higher-ups have made it clear. Anyone who achieves merit and dares to stand out will have opportunities for exceptional promotion. Do you wish to remain ordinary soldiers for life? Or shall we strive for something monumental together?" Upon witnessing our 5 comrades ascend to the military academy and rise to the rank of officer, do you not feel a twinge of envy? Envy, how could one not feel it? Who does not yearn for promotion? Who does not aspire to bring honor to their family? Lacking the means or opportunity is one thing, but when the chance is right before us, how could we let it slip away? Someone boldly proclaimed, "We wish to join as well." The others echoed with eyes brimming with excitement and fervor. Lin Hui smiled faintly, remarking, "A soldier who does not aspire to be a general is not a commendable soldier. However, mere words hold no weight. Action is necessary. I ask you now, do you have the strength to follow me?" The crowd surged with enthusiasm, exclaiming, "Whatever you say, we shall comply, as long as we are not pushed to our limits." Lin Hui chuckled heartily. "Rest assured, my training methods are always scientific. There will be no fatalities, at the very least. I will ensure you can still breathe and be saved." The group felt their legs weaken, nearly collapsing. They had grown to despise the word scientific. Nevertheless, for the sake of honor and the possibility of promotion, they steeled themselves for the challenge. Chapter 257. The entire regiment becomes model workers at 3 in the morning. A light mist hung in the air. The city had shed its daytime clamor, leaving the streets eerily empty. The early morning eateries had just opened their doors. By 3:30, while most remained ensconced in dreams, the sanitation workers had donned their uniforms, armed with brooms and dustpans, ready to commence a day of cleaning the city. Sister Zhao, riding her tricycle, arrived at her designated street, only to be taken aback. The street was immaculate, devoid of even a single fallen leaf. The trash bin stood empty, not a scrap of refuse in sight. What was going on? She took a few steps forward and turned the corner, instantly struck with astonishment. The adjacent street was bustling with activity. Some individuals wielded brooms, fervently sweeping the ground, while others hurriedly pushed carts laden with garbage. A few were kneeling beside the bins, scrubbing diligently. Sister Zhao rubbed her eyes vigorously, confirming she was not dreaming. "What are you all doing?" Lin Hui approached, offering a salute. "Greetings. We are from the nearby military unit. Aware of the strenuous efforts you sanitation workers endure daily, we've come to lend a hand." Sister Zhao quickly shook her head. No, these tasks are dirty and laborious. We wouldn't want to soil your uniforms. How could one fear dirt and toil and still claim to be a soldier?" Lin Hui, with a bright smile, replied, "You brave souls face the elements daily. Without your dedicated efforts, our beautiful city would not exist. Please, madam, take a moment to rest while we handle these small matters." Sister Zhao felt a surge of emotion. Having worked in sanitation for decades, she had faced her fair share of disdain, with no one ever truly caring or valuing their work. Even her own children urged her to change jobs. deeming street sweeping as shameful. Yet today, upon hearing those words, her heart was filled with genuine joy. Just then, Zhang Wei came running up, Deputy Company Commander. I brought you breakfast. Lin Hui glanced at him, handed to the lady. Zhang Wei paused momentarily before promptly placing the breakfast into Sister Zhao's hands. Sister Zhao was taken aback and quickly declined, saying, I cannot accept this. You have assisted me with my work. How could I take your belongings? Lin Hui smiled gently and replied, Sister, we are the people's soldiers, dedicated to serving the public. I imagine you haven't had breakfast yet, so please accept it. We have plenty. After speaking, he saluted and, along with Zhang Wei, turned and dashed away. Sister Zhao gazed at the steaming buns and soy milk in her hands. A wave of warmth flooding her heart, and her eyes suddenly glistened with tears. Truly, they were a wonderful group of young people. Upon returning, Lin Hui clapped his hands and exclaimed, Hurry up. Even cleaning takes you so long. How can we expect to come in first? Everyone was exhausted. Their expressions devoid of hope. Just 2 hours prior, they had finished their tasks in the village and had rushed over without so much as a moment to rest or even take a sip of water. Wang Yong emerged from a garbage bin with a forlorn expression, lamenting, Brother Hui, could we please eat something first? We are starving. The others nodded in agreement. The children are hungry. Lin Hui rolled his eyes and retorted, If you want to eat, you must first work. Finish your tasks and then tell me you're hungry. Move quickly. Dawn is approaching. While everyone silently cursed Lin Hui's ancestors, they continued their labor. Lin Hui observed closely, ensuring they had no opportunity to slack off. To build their endurance in a short time, he had to be strict. It was akin to training a hawk. They needed to be pushed to their limits in order to break through repeatedly and improve. Under Lin Hui's supervision, the work was completed swiftly, leaving everyone on the verge of collapse. Although they were merely cleaning the streets, it was no less strenuous than working for the villagers. They experienced firsthand the arduous and challenging nature of sanitation workers' jobs. With so much refuse and countless leaves, their arms felt as if they might snap from the effort. Zhou Zhongyi approached and inquired, Lin Hui, is it time to let them rest and relax? Rest? Lin Hui chuckled. This is just the beginning. Besides, aren't I currently allowing them to unwind? Zhou Zhongyi nearly choked in disbelief. After sweeping dozens of streets and clearing over 100 trash bins, you call this relaxation? You're truly relentless. He squinted and asked, You aren't planning to continue tormenting them, are you? Lin Hui replied earnestly, How can this be called torment? This is scientific training. Everyone is fully committed, eager to improve and make contributions. I must take responsibility for them. Zhou Zhongyi chuckled, You have a point. They asked for this themselves. Even if they must endure hardship, they should finish it on their knees. As long as it benefits our team, you can do as you please. Lin Hui nodded with a smile. Indeed. At noon, the landfill on the outskirts of the city was bustling with activity. Wang Yong and his companions wielded shovels, swiftly transferring garbage into small carts. Their pace was astonishingly rapid. Just half a month ago, it would have taken them at least 5 minutes to fill a cart. But now, after enduring such rigorous training, their physical fitness had improved several levels. They could complete the task in a mere minute, their faces unflushed and breath steady, as they pushed the carts with remarkable agility. Suddenly, a group of individuals erupted from the rear office building, exclaiming, What are you doing here? Who authorized your presence? Who is your leader? Lin Hui approached and saluted, Greetings, I am their supervisor. The director of the waste station scrutinized Lin Hui with a furrowed brow and inquired, What brings you here? Lin Hui, with a cheerful demeanor, replied, We are here to assist you. The director was taken aback. Assist us? Lin Hui nodded. We are a station military unit nearby. Aware of the heavy workload and the arduous nature of your tasks, we have voluntarily organized ourselves to help you. Upon hearing this, the director's expression transformed into one of disbelief. He had often heard that our military would lend a hand to the common people, yet he had always dismissed it as mere rhetoric. Never did he imagine he would encounter such a reality. The director's tone softened immediately, and with a beaming smile, he said, Thank you. Thank you. Our manpower is indeed insufficient. The work is both dirty and exhausting, and generally, people are reluctant to come here, making recruitment quite challenging. Your presence is a tremendous help. I shall ensure that we send a banner to your unit. Lin Hui smiled slightly. Comrade, we are all part of the same family. It is unnecessary to express gratitude for helping one another. Indeed, the director nodded appreciatively. The bond between the military and the people is like that of fish and water. We are one family, ha ha ha. Everyone resumed their work. Within just a few hours, the towering heaps of garbage had diminished significantly. The workers stared in shock. Wow. What we would have taken half a month to accomplish, they completed in a single day. How incredible. The director was equally astonished. The comrades from the military are truly extraordinary. Their combat effectiveness is astonishing. Now I understand how we drove away those enemies. Director, the soldiers have finished the work. What shall we do next? The director was momentarily taken aback. He had not considered this. In the following half-month, Lin Hui led everyone as they tirelessly assisted in various tasks, sweeping the streets, clearing rubbish, moving construction debris at sites, and helping cargo companies unload goods. Wherever there was strenuous labor, Lin Hui and his team could be found. Moreover, all of this was voluntary. They accepted no remuneration and did not even drink a sip of water. All sustenance was self-sourced, truly embodying the spirit of not accepting even a thread from the common people. Soon, their deeds spread far and wide, creating quite a stir even in neighboring cities. News media outlets flocked to cover the story. One day, a reporter from a news agency arrived at a construction site. The photographer, camera in tow, focused on the bustling figures in the distance. The reporter approached Lin Hui with a smile. "Greetings, I am a reporter from the XX News program. May I ask if you are the commander of this unit?" Lin Hui hesitated momentarily. A reporter? He hadn't anticipated that a training exercise would attract media attention. He nodded. "I suppose so. What is it?" The camera lens immediately zeroed in on Lin Hui as the reporter enthusiastically extended a hand. "Hello, I am reporter Xiao Dai. And I am here primarily to..." Upon seeing the reporter, everyone became excited. Wang Yong hastily spat twice and wiped his forehead. He rushed to stand behind Lin Hui, resembling a mere backdrop. Chun Eru excitedly chimed in. "I'm on television. Can you see me? Father, mother, uncle, big uncle, third nephew Haydn? I'm on television." The reporter appeared visibly embarrassed, leaving Lin Hui speechless. Were it not for the presence of others, he would have certainly kicked Chun Eru. At that moment, Zhou Zhongyi unexpectedly approached with enthusiasm, saying, "Are interviews underway? I am the commander of this unit, Zhou Zhongyi. Feel free to interview me." He continued, "Indeed, assisting the common folk is entirely my initiative." Yes, that is correct. Ha ha ha. We, the soldiers of the people, should always aid the citizens. It is our duty. Observing Zhou Zhongyi's ostentatious display in front of the camera, the others rolled their eyes in unison. It was clear that Lin Hui had taken the lead. What relevance did this have to Zhou Zhongyi? Such shameless self-aggrandizement. The following morning, Lu Qingsong arrived at the office early. He had barely settled down to work when the chief of staff rushed in, exclaiming, "Report." Lu Qingsong shot him a glare. "What with the urgency, so early in the morning? Is your behind on fire?" The chief of staff quickly handed him a newspaper. "Commander, you must see this." Annoyed, Lu Qingsong took it, and upon glancing at the headline, his eyes widened in disbelief. The front page boldly proclaimed that the troops had been recognized by the municipal authorities for their commendable service to the citizens. The entire regiment was hailed as models of labor and morality. Accompanying the article was a photograph of Lin Hui, smiling broadly, with Zhou Zhongyi beside him. The backdrop a construction site. Lu Qingsong slammed his palm on the desk, fury etched across his face. What on earth is Lin Hui up to? I sent him for military training, and he is out sweeping streets and hauling garbage, earning accolades? Quick, get in touch with him. I must know what he is up to. Yes. The chief of staff turned to make contact but soon returned with a wry smile. "Commander, I can't reach them." Lu Qingsong was furious. He had pinned all his hopes on Lin Hui, relying on him to train diligently and secure a striking victory for 602. Now he had taken them out for some frivolous endeavor, returning with a labor model award? Was he intent on setting them free, completely unshackling himself? Lu Qingsong sat down angrily, his expression dark. Damn it, did I choose the wrong person? I shouldn't have trusted this kid in the first place. Simultaneously, at the Southeast Command, Lin Guangyao saw the newspaper and spat out his tea in shock. He gaped in disbelief. What on earth is that rascal thinking? ISNT, there a major competition in the war zone coming up? Why ISNT he focused on training instead of gallivanting around? Does he really think he can secure first place by sweeping the streets? Chapter 258. What on earth is he up to? In the evening, two military vehicles drove into the courtyard. As Lin Rue stepped off the vehicle, he spotted Lin Fan standing ahead. What brings you back? I heard you've been quite busy lately. Lin Fan nodded, saying, It's Mom who called me back. Isn't today Grandfather's Memorial Day? Lin Rue also nodded and unlocked the door with a key. The two brothers changed into slippers as they entered the house. A table laden with dishes awaited them. Mom. Jiang Lanying emerged wearing an apron. Wash your hands. Dinner is ready. The brothers washed their hands and were about to take a seat when Lin Fan quietly asked, Mom. ISNT Xiao Hui back yet? Jiang Lanying snorted coldly, her irritation palpable. What do you think? Lin Fan stuck out his tongue, realizing it was a futile question. He turned to his father, who was sitting nearby, and cheerfully remarked, Dad, did you know that Xiao Hui has become a model citizen and a sanitation champion? The television station reported it, and it even made the military newspaper. Is he planning to change professions? Lin Guangyao, already irritable, became even angrier upon hearing this. What business is it of yours? Can't you just eat without talking? Lin Fan's face flushed with embarrassment. I was just saying it casually, don't be angry. Mind your own business. Lin Guangyao glared at him. He's out there sweeping the streets. And you're bold enough to speak up? Lin Fan wished he could slap himself, wishing to disappear into a hole. Why bring up the third brother? It was just asking for trouble. After the last exercise, he had already faced his father's scolding, leaving him psychologically scarred. Beside him, Lin Rui chuckled heartily. Second brother. You need to work harder. Xiao Hui is out cleaning now instead of training. If you get another chance, how will you face people if you can't defeat him? Lin Fan, infuriated, retorted, last time, I was careless. He ambushed me. Before he could finish, Lin Guangyao interrupted angrily. Stop making excuses. A loss is a loss. If this were a real battle, you'd be dead, and there would be no chance for complaints. Lin Fan was at a loss for words. But he remained unconvinced in his heart. He had to find an opportunity to teach that brat a lesson. Otherwise, he would never stand tall. He couldn't help but lament. Why is it that we all returned, but he didn't? Today is grandfather's Memorial Day. Lin Rui shushed him. Keep your voice down. Don't anger mom further. Lin Fan helplessly fell silent. Why was it that all sons were treated equally, yet Lin Hui was favored while they were overlooked? This only deepened his discomfort. If this resentment remained unresolved, he wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Lin Guangyao felt equally discontented. To this day, he couldn't understand what Lin Hui was up to. Looking at the table filled with food, he secretly mused, you little rascal. I'm waiting to see what you're really up to. In the Central Plains war zone, within the Shura camp, Wang Yishua looked at the newspaper report with a puzzled expression. This shouldn't be the case. He made such bold claims last time, saying he would strengthen the entire regiment and surpass Shura. Why has he suddenly turned to help the common people? With the grand competition approaching, the entire regiment was in intense training. How could he relax at such a critical moment? It made no sense. Her head throbbed as she pondered what Lin Hui was truly after. Finally, she closed the newspaper and let out a long sigh. For some reason, she felt the distance between herself and Lin Hui growing ever wider. In the past, a mere grimace from him would allow her to discern his thoughts. Yet now, his mind seemed an enigma, shrouded in a thick fog. The more she struggled to comprehend him, the more restless she became, her mood inexplicably irritable. Even she could not fathom why this rogue stirred such vexation within her. Wang Yishua. Suddenly, a voice called from outside. She turned to see the office door swing open, and her expression instantly soured. What brings you here? Wang Chen approached with a beaming smile, clutching a newspaper. Did you see? Have you seen? Wang Yishua rolled her eyes. Must you always do this? Are you not tired? Wang Chen stepped closer. Please, do not find me bothersome. Look here, he exclaimed, patting the newspaper triumphantly. Isn't this precisely what I mentioned? That fellow cannot discern the gravity of the situation. At a time when the entire Southwest is fervently preparing for the competition, fighting for honor, he has the audacity to assist the common folk, utterly derelict. Wang Yishua turned to him, her gaze steady. What do you mean by derelict? Assisting the common people is a cherished tradition of our military, a testament to the bond between soldiers and civilians. In the past, whenever our troops were deployed, we would fetch water, chop wood, and maintain cleanliness for the people. With her hands on her hips, she adopted the demeanor of a headstrong princess. His actions now are merely an extension of that tradition, a continuation of the spirit of our predecessors. Wang Chen stood dumbfounded. In all his years, he had never witnessed his younger sister argue with him over another man. When confronted with matters of disinterest, she typically remained aloof or cold. Yet here she was, defending someone else with such fervor. You, are you actually raising your voice at me? Wang Yishua suddenly realized her tone had indeed escalated. Blushing, she retorted, so what? I speak the truth. Wang Chen, his face flushed with indignation, countered, what I say is also the truth. The bond between soldiers and civilians is commendable, and assisting the common folk is indeed noble, but one must discern the time and prioritize accordingly. What moment are we in? Every regiment in our combat zone is training tirelessly to secure a commendable ranking. At such a time, he chooses not to train but to squander his efforts elsewhere, returning with accolades for cleanliness as if it matters. What is he attempting? Clearly, he is seeking excuses for his inadequacies. He scoffed disdainfully. When the competition concludes and defeat looms, he will surely emerge to lament the lack of training, citing his time spent in service to the people. Who could possibly respect such a scoundrel? Competitions are judged on military prowess, not on how clean the streets are or how many awards one has amassed. He was once mud, now he is merely less so, yet still a clump of dirt. Wang Chen fixed her with a serious gaze. In the future, keep your distance from him. Such individuals, adept at flaunting their cleverness and taking shortcuts, are incapable of genuine achievement and dare to surpass me. The thought alone repulses me. Wang Yishua rolled her eyes in impatience. All right. You are the most reasonable one. All the wisdom in the world resides within you. You are the greatest, the most formidable, and everyone else pales in comparison, right? After saying this, she stood up, fuming, and stormed out of the office. Wang Chun was equally infuriated and shouted after her, "Just keep your distance from him. I am doing this for your own good." Once she had left, he sighed helplessly. Opening a newspaper, he glanced at Lin Hui's photograph and was immediately filled with ire. What a pathetic trick. Who do you think you can deceive? This life is bound to be mediocre. At that moment, Wang Yixue descended the stairs and stood in front of the office building. She gazed up at the sky and sighed softly. "I once doubted your capabilities. Yet your transformation from a pig farmer to who you are now has proven your strength and determination. Although I do not comprehend your true intentions, surely you have your own reasons. I await the day when you shine brilliantly in competition. Best of luck." Chapter 259, Urgent Rescue, Sudden Forest Fire Before Dawn. The streets resonated with the sound of synchronized footsteps. Sanitation workers pushed their garbage carts, just arriving on the scene. A group of young men clad in camouflage sprinted over. Lin Hui greeted them with a smile. "Good morning, ma'am." "Good morning." The others grabbed their tools and promptly scattered to their designated areas, beginning to clean the streets. For the past few days, they had been assisting with sanitation in the vicinity, growing quite familiar with the local sanitation workers. Aunt Xiao expressed her gratitude. "Xiao Lin, thank you for coming to help with the cleaning every day. Your presence makes our work so much easier. It's what we ought to do." Lin Hui replied with a slight smile, turning to dash away. Watching his busy figure in the distance, Aunt Xiao felt a swell of emotion. Truly the people-less soldiers. Such good kids. A group of them wielded brooms, vigorously sweeping the ground. In the blink of an eye, they amassed the rubbish into piles resembling small hills. Others swiftly shoveled the refuse onto the carts. Their movements were so quick they nearly left shadows behind. In comparison to before, the same crew used to take 40 minutes to clean a street. Now, they accomplished it in a mere 20 minutes. Not only had their speed increased, but they completed their tasks without breaking a sweat, as if it required no effort at all. Wang Yong, while sweeping, complained, "I wonder what Brother Hui is thinking. Day after day, it's either hard labor or sweeping the streets. Are we supposed to change professions collectively?" Chun Eru replied with a forlorn expression. "I want to be an officer, to lead troops, not to sweep the streets every day." Nearby, Su sighed, "Forget it, let us not complain. Lin Hui definitely has his own plans." The two of them looked at him with forlorn expressions. What plans? Working and training have nothing in common. We're just starving and toiling, worse than a miser. Bang! Each received a light smack on the head. Turning around, they found Lin Hui glaring at them fiercely, startling them. "Does work require your mouths? Are you sweeping rubbish or eating it? Move with more agility." "Yes, yes, yes," they replied in a flurry, hastily resuming their work. The others also quickened their pace. Lin Hui observed from the side, a satisfied smile gracing his lips. Through days of rigorous training, everyone had shed considerable weight. Excess fat had nearly been expended, while muscle strength continuously improved. Their endurance, stamina, and physical limits had significantly elevated. They now resembled the elderly laborers on construction sites. Seemingly frail, yet capable of effortlessly lifting 3 or 4 bags of cement that younger individuals struggled with. "Hurry, you have another 10 minutes. Lin Hui clapped his hands and shouted, "If you don't finish, it's 1,000 push-ups for all." The group was at a loss, feeling utterly exasperated. Deprived of sufficient food and rest, they were subjected to such relentless demands. However, to avoid punishment, they had no choice but to push their pace to the limit. What should have taken 10 minutes was completed in under 7. Just as they were about to submit their work, a piercing siren echoed from the street in the distance. In the next moment, 2 fire trucks sped past with a rush. Lin Hui raised an eyebrow in surprise, wondering where the fire was. Soon after, the sirens of more fire trucks blared in the darkness. Within a brief span of 5 minutes, 4 waves of fire trucks had rushed by. The group scratched their heads, perplexed. What kind of fire warranted such a multitude of fire trucks? Could it be a drill? It didn't seem like a drill. The urgency suggested a genuine emergency. Lin Hui, watching the departing convoy of fire trucks, felt puzzled but did not dwell on it. Each had their role, and the matter of firefighting was best left to the professionals. Lin Hui's primary focus was to enhance everyone's endurance and explosive power. Only then would they stand a better chance in competitions. As dawn gradually broke, Lin Hui led everyone to various locations, continuing their work. Whether it was bridge repairs, road construction, cargo transportation, or municipal weeding, their figures were always present wherever work was to be done. Everyone toiled tirelessly, without a moment's pause. Moreover, all tasks had to be completed within the stipulated time. Failure to do so would result in punishment. Even Zhou Zhongyi couldn't help but exclaim, "This isn't training. It's akin to risking one's life." In a greenbelt beside a highway, a group was squatting on the ground, swiftly clearing weeds with sickles, thoroughly engrossed in their work. In the afternoon, just as they finished and prepared to leave, a convoy of fire trucks, sirens blaring, raced past on the adjacent highway. Suda furrowed his brow and inquired, "Why are there so many fire trucks again?" Zhang Wei remarked in surprise, "They look different from the ones this morning." Lin Hui speculated, they must be from out of town. The letters on the license plates are different. The others expressed astonishment. What kind of fire requires this many fire trucks? No sooner had the words left their mouths than a multitude of water trucks sped past. In just a few minutes, at least 20 to 30 vehicles had rushed by. Lin Hui frowned, sensing an ominous premonition. Meanwhile, many people had gathered near a roadside booth. Pointing and discussing the water trucks that whizzed by, Lin Hui and his companions passed by, casually inquiring with a nearby woman. Excuse me, could you enlighten us on the situation? Where has the fire broken out? The streets are filled with fire engines and water trucks. The woman turned to them and replied, you must not be aware. The nearby Longshan has ignited, and the flames are fierce. All the fire and water trucks have rushed over. Who knows if they can extinguish it? A concerned lady nearby interjected, Longshan is connected to several mountains. If it spreads, it would be catastrophic. The residents of the nearby towns would suffer. A wave of anxiety washed over the crowd, realizing it was a forest fire. No wonder they had sensed a lingering smell of smoke throughout the afternoon. Let us head back. Lin Hui decided without hesitation, leading his group in the direction of their return. Longshan was their essential route. Just last night, everything had been fine. How had it suddenly caught fire? Half an hour later, Lin Hui and his team rushed to the scene. From a distance, the mountains blazed a vivid red, trees and grass ablaze. Numerous fire engines and water trucks were stationed at the base, but the steep mountain paths rendered them incapable of proceeding. Firefighters were tasked with carrying extinguishers and connecting hoses and segments, attempting to deliver water uphill. Just then, a team of firefighters emerged from the slopes, their uniforms blackened by smoke. Lin Hui hurried over to inquire about the situation. Hello, comrades. What is the status up there? The leading captain removed his helmet and gasped for breath. Upon realizing Lin Hui was a soldier, he wasted no time and replied, the fire is raging on the mountain. Relying solely on carrying extinguishers uphill makes it nearly impossible to extinguish the flames. We require professional equipment, but the fire truck ladders can't reach that high. Breathing heavily, he gestured. If we delay further, the consequences could be dire. Not only will the mountains suffer, but nearby civilians will also be at risk. I must go now. I need to gather more personnel. Lin Hui's expression darkened instantly, and others quickly surrounded him. This was dire. With fire trucks unable to ascend, how long would the flames continue to rage? Brother Hui, we can't go up the mountain. We must find another route to return, suggested one of them. Lin Hui looked at them resolutely. I have no intention of retreating. Everyone, prepare yourselves. We're heading up the mountain. The group stared at him in astonishment. You can't possibly mean to fight the fire? Lin Hui nodded solemnly, stating, as soldiers, donning our uniforms obligates us to protect the lives and properties of the people. With the wildfire threatening civilian safety, we must stand guard. Thus, we must proceed. Wang Yong expressed his concern. Brother Hui, it's not that we refuse. We're not trained firefighters and lack expertise. Charging in would be tantamount to seeking death. Suda concurred. We lack the necessary equipment and training. Even if we ascend, we might hinder the efforts instead of helping. Lin Hui pondered for a moment, observing them. Do not worry about that. I will make arrangements now. Get ready. With that, he turned and dashed away. As they gazed upon the roaring inferno raging atop the mountain, a collective unease gripped the crowd. Their throats tightened, and their legs felt inexplicably weak. While they were willing to charge into battle, they lacked the experience to combat such a wildfire. If they proceeded without caution, they would surely be scorched. Chapter 260. They have all ascended, and we must follow suit. Make way, make way. Lin Hui maneuvered through the throng of onlookers, sprinting towards the firefighters. Shadows of soot-streaked faces darted about in a frenzy, and the air was filled with a cacophony of commotion. Individuals continually ascended and descended the mountainside. Fire Chief Hong Chong, while orchestrating the scene, bellowed, "You lot over there. Stop loitering and get back on your feet." The group hastily scrambled to their feet, donning their protective gear before racing up the slope. Hong Chong shouted hoarsely, "Where is Team 1? Have they returned?" "No," came the reply. "Get them down here immediately. Hurry." He pointed to a cluster of individuals, growling. "You all grab fire extinguishers and shovels, and head up from the south. We must carve out a fire break before the flames spread further." With a flurry of commands issued, the scene was alive with the swift movement of personnel. Lin Hui approached Hong Chong and saluted. "Excuse me, are you the overall commander of the firefighting efforts?" Without lifting his gaze from the map, Hong Chong inquired curtly, "What do you want?" Lin Hui replied earnestly, "I have an urgent matter to discuss with you." "Discuss what? Can't you see I'm busy?" "It pertains to the firefighting efforts. Might we step aside for a moment?" Finally looking up and assessing Lin Hui, Hong Chang's expression softened slightly upon noticing his military uniform. He turned to his subordinates and instructed, "Continue with the current plan. I'll join you shortly." Hong Chong led Lin Hui to a more secluded area. "Now what is it?" Lin Hui saluted once more. "Commander, our battalion is training nearby. We learned of the forest fire and wish to assist. Please assign us some tasks. Hong Chang appeared taken aback. Combating fires is our responsibility alone. What can you possibly contribute? This is sheer folly. You should leave immediately. Lin Hui stood resolute, asserting solemnly. It is our duty as soldiers to safeguard the lives of civilians. If the public is in peril, we must respond. I implore you, Comrade Major, grant us your consent. Hong Chang furrowed his brow, his patience wearing thin. Do you not understand? I have no time for this. He pointed into the distance, shouting.